Hey everybody, welcome welcome to your Thursday check-in. What's up? What's going on? Just to let you know, everybody's readings are done. This once more is technically the outro. Today's reading, by the way, will be the Celtic Cross, which will be our standard Celtic Cross baseline plus advice, oracles, charms, right? And then, like always with this reading type, take it resonates, leave it does not, etc., etc. Okay, you guys. I know many of you were wondering, hey, where's the Sunday check-in from last Sunday, the shorts, that kind of thing. Last Friday, I had a death in the family. And I'm still processing it. I'm doing well enough that it's not that I needed to get back to work. I wanted to. Life has a way of kind of forcing your hand and saying, hey, normalcy. So that's where I'm at. I wanted to get back to work. And then also life keeps going on. So that being said, I will give you a more comprehensive update later, possibly for the Sunday check-in. But now's not that time. If you can believe it, and I think many of you can, because you know what this crazy, wonderful thing called life is and how chaotic it can be. Beautiful, but chaotic. So Friday, I received the news, and I was literally knee-deep in house construction. So when it rains, it pours. But to tell you, I was a little overwhelmed is an understatement. And that's what's going on now, which is why it would not be appropriate for me to kind of stop and give you that update now. I'm going to save that intentionally for another check-in, like I said, most likely Sunday, because at any moment I'm about to have several people show up on the property and keep working on the house. There is that sense of, oh my gosh, I just want to do something normal, please. But that's where I'm at right now. So like I said, anyway, I said I'd keep it short, and I'm already not doing that. And I've got people pulling up to the house right freaking now. So I owe you an update. Let's put it that way. So I will see you for the next check-in. So maybe some shorts. We'll see. No promises. Obviously, I've got a lot to contend with, but I just want to reassure you I'm okay. I am. I'm okay. In the general sense, I can freeze time. Hanged man. Pause. You just chill out. Just hold on. Okay. Hold on. Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be that person. I got up early so I could record. That's my choice. Again, I wanted to. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you all. I know I had comments turned off for that community post. I believe it's called post now. It used to be called community. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I know comments were turned off, and that's because I couldn't moderate, so that's why. But I saw your reactions, and then also on Facebook, and just thank you all so much. It's so easy to forget sometimes that we're a community. I don't see myself as a social media person, and I make that very clear. I'm not. I don't do the influence thing. I'm not. That's not my gig. I bring a particular skill to YouTube, and that's it. But nevertheless, when you're in it, when you put your work online, it can become familiar, like a mechanism, a process that becomes very technical in nature, and then you remember sometimes, oh no, it's a community. I have my own little portion in the world where you guys show up, and I don't know why. But thank you so much for your thoughts. But I promise you I'm okay. This is what I do. This is not my first passing. I'm very familiar with my own particular processes and how I get back to life and normalcy and things like that. And work plays a big part in it. But thank you all so much for your thoughts and prayers and well wishes and things like that. It means the world to me. And it reminds me that this isn't a job. There's a whole group here, a whole group of folks. And I thank you, each and every one of you, for being part of it. I saw some really cool stuff for some of you. I hope you enjoyed your reading. If not, you don't like it, you ain't cool with it, check your other placements or don't worry about it. I'll catch you on the next one. But yeah, I'll give you more of an update, a proper one later. Okay. All right. Thank you. You guys, I will see you for the next check-in, and I will see you at your sign. Take care. Be well. Leo, you're up first. Let's take a look at Leo, please. All right, first card down, 3 of Wands, crossing, Ace of Wands, crowning you, 2 of Cups. Past is the 6 of Cups, exiting is the 10 of Pentacles, before you the Lovers. Wow. Okay, the Empress strikes. Home environment, 2 of Pentacles, some shifting there. Hopes and fears, 4 of Swords, and the outcome is the 8 of Swords. Confusion about what's going on, what to do, next steps, how to stabilize this. You know, you opened up with such a, contemplative energy. 3 of Wands. It's like, what am I looking at exactly? Well, Ace of Wands is crossing you. It's like, is this a good Ace of Wands? Because I'm attracted to it. I'm looking at it. But oh my goodness, with it come certain risks, rewards, and accommodation, though. So there is something here that has your attention, energetically too. It speaks to you quite powerfully. Brand new beginning, a flame is turned on. You're like, yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm drawn to this. Yeah, I'm compelled towards it. But in it, you recognize by accepting this brand new beginning, it's going to require some shift and change in your life. Okay. Okay. Crowning you, 2 of Cups. Yeah, you can feel the love in this. You can feel it with you. It feels present. It feels bonded. It feels equal, right? So it's not just that fiery, passionate intensity that I'm seeing for you, which is prevalent, very. But there's also the emotional aspect to it, which kind of gently rolls in as well. And the 6 of Cups is in the past. We know this person, you know? So there's a pre-existing bond here, to be clear. You're showing me the intensity of new. Okay, the freshness of new. The excitement of new. It was something that bonds to you from the past. So we've known this person, in heart if nothing else, for a while. There's memories in there, there's nostalgia in there. My goodness, 10 of Pentacles on the exit. There's something here about the foundation that is currently either flexible or is requiring less of your attention these days. Okay, so that's not a full exit. No, no, no. 10 of Pentacles is very founded in this respect. It's kind of like it's just not receiving the utmost of all your energies right now. It doesn't require 100% of your concentrated efforts right now, and that's okay. I did see that with your environment being a little bit up in the air. Perhaps flexibility is needed at this time, or like I said, you are trying to give to more than one thing. It could be that you are deeply connected in work, resources, network activity, and you want to know if you can make space to include this, because personally it strikes you as very important, spiritually, emotionally, attraction. But I can also see that you have a lot of 3D demands attached to you as well. So there's something here about your foundation cycle being gently put aside for now, or perhaps it is, like I said, less demanding now, because right now I see you wanting to make space for this considerable connection, and I don't blame you. But just to be clear, you look like a Leo who is well founded and grounded, if you will. So I will say, you seem to be open to exploring this. It requires a lot of energetic effort on your part. And you do. The Lovers is before you in future. Oh my goodness. So not only do we have the intensity and that freshness of new, we have the familiarity of the past attached to it. And that bond just seems to deepen beautifully for you in the immediate future here with the Lovers. I will point out, of course, we are in Gemini season, so we could be speaking to that particular time frame as in now. For others of you, in terms of what really allows you to tap into this, feel it, okay, experience it. I don't know, but it's coming up now. All I can tell you is that it hits like new. But this person's, I suppose, spiritual hand, if you will, you've held it before. Emotional hand, and perhaps have actually held their hand on more than one occasion in the past. I don't know. But it feels so familiar and new at the same time. Isn't that lovely? Quite strong. But yes, really delving into the experience. Strengths for you, the Empress. That's beautiful. Know your worth, always. And again, keeping in mind the Emperor and Empress, they're all about empowerment, yes. Okay. Earning it, developing it, growing into it, becoming comfortable with it. Knowing how to exercise their power appropriately. And what does life mean to them? And are they fulfilling their particular roles? So in that respect, they always are looking for their equal. So that's your strength. I don't think you'd be connecting to this unless you strongly suspected in some way it met your criteria for equal. Two of Pentacles in your environment. Like I said, there is something here about your environment that's currently either flexible or you are trying to make space for this. There you go. You got some things up in the air. It's not easy. I know. It's kind of like saying, Christina, I want it all, but I have to figure out how to make all happen. That's absolutely true. Wanting it all and having it all are two different things. So we have to make space. And I think that's what you're doing right now. Because this is requiring, but it's a good requirement. It's a beautiful requirement. And I see you really challenging yourself to incorporate this connection into your real world. And that's going to require some flexibility. That's all I'm saying for you. Okay. It looks like you're in a good space to do it. Four of Swords and your hopes and fears. Have I reflected enough? Have I healed enough? Have I made enough space for myself? Okay, do I like where I'm at mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Only you can answer that, but I would just go ahead and push back. You look like you've done some good work in here. Okay, Eight of Swords out there in the conclusion. That's interesting. That's interesting. Perhaps they will show me an advice. A little bit of stuckness there in the outcome. A little bit of something I can't see or I don't know, or something that might feel like it's provoking some level of insecurity. Perhaps something that you thought you worked through, but you're not certain. Okay. Again, I would push back. I think you've done a lot of good work for yourself, by yourself, and understanding who you are, that you can make space for this in your life, that you do want it. You can have it all. Finding the space for it, well, that's another challenge. But I think there's something here that mentally on the inside quietly plagues you a little bit. And you can't help but wonder from time to time, did I work through whatever that particular feature is enough? Because it comes up for you in the end. Will it be a lasting state of Eight of Swords? Probably not. Not what I've seen here. But I do want you to know something comes across as a concern for you up here. Okay? While you are making all this fantastic space and building into this gorgeous, fantastically warm and highly connected Lovers energy, which again, I must point out to you, not only does it have the heat of the moment, the warmth of the past, and the love of the present. It's quite nice. It's very lovely. Very lovely. The circumstances for which you two cross paths, I want to say again, I don't know. Someone puts it in motion, I do not know. I just see you kind of jumping in, you know, at the deep end of the pool. That's not a, I'm going to ease myself in at the shallow end. No, no, no. You kind of take a deep breath and then you jump in. But you can't, that opening says, I'm looking at this, I'm drawn to it, and then you jump in. Three of Wands, I don't know how long it took for this thing to arrive, but when it does, well, you don't hesitate too much longer after that to join it. Six of Cups. Two of Wands. Oh, and there it is. Well, thank you for answering my question, Spirit. I appreciate that. I was going to say, well, there it is. Somebody makes contact consciously. The Queen of Swords, Two of Wands, the Six of Cups. There they are again. Yeah, so we know this person of the past. They acknowledge you. You acknowledge them. It was pretty straightforward. Yeah, but somebody here has the mind right there as an active decision, conscious decision to dial in. Two of Wands. There's the communication. There's the decision it's made. That's either you or them. So soon, very soon, but whoever does this has the presence of mind. So it's coming from a place of sound mind, judgment. Okay. Question, it could have been forward as a question. Hey, just checking in. How's it going? I don't know. Something on that person's mind, I couldn't say. But I appreciate that. I wanted to know. Knight of Swords, Five of Wands, and the Chariot. Cutting through. Cutting through. Difficult. Red tape. Activity. Motion. It's not the easiest thing to connect to right away. There's a certain set of challenges about timing, obligations, making space, moving towards this, but also cutting down any obstacles. Reality represents, for at least one of you, a certain set of challenges in terms of timing. Someone's not free to just take off and connect, but they will do their best to do so. Somebody really wants to be there despite any frustrations. Okay. All right. Very distinctly, I want to know about the Eight of Swords. Why Eight of Swords in the outcome, please? Seven of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Three of Swords. Okay, so that's an internal fear system. Pretty normal from what I'm looking at. And I do think it goes back to that Four Swords. Have I done enough rest and reflection and insights and healing about love, my life, its growth, its meaning? But particularly in regards to this connection, Eight of Swords, a little bit of internal fear there, okay? How out of control or big that Eight of Swords gets, entirely depends on how much work we do on it, okay? Just be aware that for some of you, it represents a blind spot that you're familiar with. And that blind spot, when we break it down a little more, Seven of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Three of Swords, we kind of have an old fear of growth and development. Will this stabilize? Will this grow well? Okay. Am I able to make this thing, are we able to make this thing stabilize in a way that's consistent for us both? There's a fear of hurt there, fear of being rejection, putting myself into something for so much for so long just to be turned around and hurt by it. I think that's what you might call a normal, healthy fear. Again, we don't want to feed into that. Let's be aware of it. Work against it, not towards it. And we can have different results. But yeah, I'd say that's a normal, healthy fear. Just continue to be aware of it, work through it, you'll be okay, right? And I think everybody has that fear. I put so much of myself into this just to get not great results. And this speaks to me, obviously, incredibly strongly. I don't want it to be a plateau thing, and I don't want to be hurt by it. Yeah, I know. So it helps when we connect to someone who we're on the same page with. Okay? I see that you very much want to be on the same page with this person, and they with you. Let that be your starting point. Take it from there. And if ever you feel like you're deviating from the same page, you talk about it to get back on it. Okay? Okay. Moonology. Take inspired action, full moon in Virgo. Well, somebody does. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, somebody does, I dare say. And it's been a while since we've had the coffee cup oracle. Let's get a couple of these. The mountain, overcoming challenges, and thus we earn our greatest achievements. They're one and the same. I completely agree. You know, if we can consider this to be our most challenging relationship, it could also be our biggest achievement. And that's, I would often reflect on the lovers being that highest sense of duality. We can be so terribly attracted to it and then pushed away from it simultaneously. This person is so much like us in all the right ways, and then also feels, therefore, all the wrong ways. And it takes time for us to understand those wrong ways, that way we can come back, work on it, and fix it if we're so inclined. I'm not telling you what to do. You two are telling me what you choose to do. Okay? So I can see that from the both of your perspective, this connection can be your highest sense of challenge and difficult of unions, and then also your highest sense of achieving and fulfilling. You know? Yes, scales, balancing it, justice, determination, document. Okay, it's time, the sense of balance and scales here between these two. Very good. We had one letter pop out, Z, E, B, and 3 medallions, Aries, Aquarius, Gemini. You might have any of these very strong placements in your chart, can be connecting to, or the seasons might be important to you. Particularly, I will note once more, we are in Gemini season. Okay. Leo, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Sag, what's up? Show me Sagittarius, please. All right, first card down, 3 of Cups, crossing the High Priestess. Crowning, 10 of Pentacles, past, King of Swords, exiting, 4 of Cups. Good, before you, Queen of Cups. Good job. Well done. Strengths, 5 of Wands. Oh, I bet. I bet. Temperance, your power card in your environment. Well done, again. 4 of Swords in the hopes and fears. Leo had the same. 8 of Wands is in the outcome. Beautiful reading here today. I can tell that you're a Sag. You've done your work. I want you to continue to do your work, and it's at that point where it doesn't really feel like work for you anymore. It's great. It's a process. It's a way of feeling. It's a way of life. This is great. You look great. You really, really do. You look healthy. You look emotionally happy and healthy. I'm not saying you're perfect. What I am saying is there's that sense of peace, and I've earned it. And so you have. 3 Cups is in your opening. There's this kind of general sense of I want to connect. I want to connect outside of myself. I think I'm waking up emotionally, socially, and it feels good. The High Priestess, you're trying to listen to that. Okay, it looks like it's a voice you're just starting to listen to again. So it's not really in the challenge position here as so much as we're tuning back into that voice of I'm feeling more and more comfortable connecting and reaching outwards these days. And what's crowning you is the 10 of Pentacles. So you have a lot to connect to anyway, so that works out. Your foundation, your way of life, is not just your career. No. It's everybody you know. Okay, so your network, your connections, your resources, your tree of life. Okay, you have a vast network attached to you. It's on your mind constantly. And you're like, I'm opening up to that. So it's the stuff that pre-exists, getting comfortable with it again. It might be a little bit more on the personal side. I do see some emotional elements here that suggest emotional healing as well. So some of you might be not just kind of reawakening to what's already there for you, but also possibly exploring something a little bit more on the personal side. We'll get to that. But for the most part, you're saying, I feel good, and I'm listening to that, and I'm opening up to that feeling of feeling good, and it feels good. It feels good to feel good, yeah? King of Swords is in the past. Pretty smart cookie. You are. This is something that's not over for you. It's a character trait you carry with you. You are someone who is intelligent, rational, logical, right? You make decisions every day, and you're used to backing them up every day. That's what you do. That's part of who you are. So not only are you someone who more or less likes to listen to their intuition, you also have a solid base of being relatively intelligent, and this is good. Intelligence and intuition, they should work together. That's beautiful. Well done there. 4 Cups is on the exit. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's one of the happiest things I can see, is that sense of old emotional lethargy, detachment, depression, sadness, disappointment. Thank you. You're on your way out. You know, it's been fun hanging out. Not really. Get out. So we don't want to be there anymore. We don't want to feel those feelings of sadness. Now, it's not a race. It's not a competition. When we're able to work through 4 Cups, well, it takes exactly that, a certain mindset of active work. I understand I'm not feeling so great. I understand I've been down. I understand I feel hurt and upset, and it's on me to acknowledge that and work through it if I want peace. And so whatever that represents to you in terms of that sadness and lethargy, and you've been doing your job. We don't want to stay here forever. A lot of people can get lost to that. You're like, I'm not going to get lost to that. It's so boring. You're right. You know, when I see people get lost to the 4 and 5 of Cups, sometimes I just want to say, aren't too bored with that yet. That sadness. Don't you want to feel other things? Waking up to life, what's there before you, right in front of your eyes. You know? Even if it's about feeling good, about going around the corner to get yourself a cup of coffee and hang out and just be quiet, listen to some music. It doesn't always have to be all that. Sometimes it's the little things. But I'm happy to see that you are coming out of that state and you are in a much fuller state of heart, like now. You'll feel it specifically for yourself soon enough, but that sense of open heart, I'm here, I'm present, I'm emotionally present, my heart's big and soft and beautiful and bold, I'm open to love, to giving and receiving, I'm feeling more intuitive now than I ever was or have been for a long time. Let's live this thing called life, and you look great. You really, really do. A++, Saggy. 5 Wands and Strengths, and that was my first reaction for you. And for Aries, I would have a very similar reaction. If they showed me that, I'd be like, yeah, I know. Your strengths is that you like a good fight. You don't mind. You don't mind a good fight. You are predominantly, yes, of course, a fire sign. You are the archer, honey. You don't mind a little fight, honestly. And sometimes, real talk, you provoke them too. Why? Because you're taking a stance. Why? Because you're a warrior. Why? Because you... Well, there you go. You're Sag. You don't... And I actually understand that. I have Sag in a couple of key places in my chart. And sometimes I'm like, oh, yes. And having that interaction with somebody, I'll have that thought, oh, you're about to make my day, aren't you? Aren't you? Oh, just try to contest that point with me. I dare you. Or whatever it is, the battle of will, something. So I know that feeling is kind of weird. I get it, though. There's some people who absolutely deplore confrontation. They hate standing up for themselves or making a declarative or a point. And there's other people who kind of low-key live for it. And that would be the Sag I'm looking at. But in terms of strengths, 5 of Wands, you know, that can seem so negative, but I consider it a skill, and perhaps I would even say a decreasing skill about knowing when and where and how to stand up for yourself. Sometimes you have to know when to fight. Sometimes you have to know when to make a stance, and sometimes you have to know when to defend yourself. And I strongly believe these are becoming a lost art or a lost skill. That doesn't mean having an attitude. That doesn't mean getting in people's faces deliberately. That means knowing when and where and how to make a stand. You say that you do. I believe you. Okay? Just remember that with all strengths, there are weaknesses. So if you're a fighter, make sure you're using your fighter for the right ways. Okay? Temperance, and I believe that you do. You have a pretty strong Sagittarian head energy spirit on your shoulders. As we say, this is your power card in your environment. You live up to your ideals. So at some point, I don't know how long, you understood that you were upset and down, and you've been working through it and working through it. Temperance, as we know, or we should know, literally equals time. It is not always the most straightforward process. Time has a way of stretching out. You kind of learn things as you allow them to come through, as you are in a good place, or... well, in a good place, but, well, some days you're better prepared to take in new information than other days, you know. So temperance, quite the process here in healing, but in your environment, you're looking good, you're looking solid, you're looking secure. This is where you feel like yourself the most, and this is where you have done most work, is in your own kind of particular sense of Sagittarius sanctuary. Whatever your environment is to you has been very restorative. And it's beautiful. You've done a lot of great work, and it shows. I see that. 4 Swords in your hopes and fears. Once more, have I done enough? Have I done enough thought, reflection, insight? I believe so, yes. I can see where you often contemplate that in the respect of, have I thought enough? Have I felt enough? Have I pursued perhaps every different point of logic and feeling about a particular subject, and particularly in respect to that 4 Cups and what it is that had you down? I think you have, but again, that's going to be an ongoing thing for you because you regulate so often against your own sense of self and energy. I can see where 4 Swords for you would be in the hopes and fears. You hope you've done a good enough job. You hope that you're living in the moment, in the present, and that you hope that you're ready for the next thing. I think you've done a good job, though, so I want you to trust your work. 8 of Wands in the outcome. I see you talking. Well, you know, that's kind of a very generic statement there, considering how you have a lot to interact or engage with. But yeah, I see you talking right there in the outcome. Either something or someone's opening up to you, or you are opening up and outwards. But let's get some advice. Honestly, I don't think you need it. You showed me a beautiful reading today. I just want you to know you've done some gorgeous work here. I want you, if you're this person, I want you to feel so proud of yourself. You should be. Things for you are going to start feeling a lot better, a lot softer, a lot easier, a lot more in tune. Okay? You got a good, solid head on your shoulders, and a good spiritual practice built into you. But yeah, if you find yourself just kind of smiling these days, feeling a little gentler, a little kinder, and you notice how people are smiling a little more easily around you, talking to you a little more, don't be surprised, you know. Beautiful work. Five of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. Okay. Continue to build into anything that might have been off or broken or deviated from the path. I see many of you have had to go out of your way to get back on a particular track as it relates to your 3D. There might have been a period where you briefly entered what you call perhaps a non-profitable, I don't know, stage in work, in something for which you were developing. Might have hit a stagnation bracket. You're back on it with the King of Wands. It's receiving your full attention again, and you are seeing results. Good job, well done. Knight of Wands, Four of Wands, relationship energy showing up, making an appearance. Some level of attraction, intensity, speed of motion. Relationship, once more, is defined by two people. And I am seeing what looks like heat, enthusiasm. Attraction, oh yes. Six of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. Someone who has slightly different energy from you wants to know if you're open to balance. Harmony is here, the Ten of Cups, so I see that there's some sincerity being expressed in some sort of possible relationship that's either developing or someone whom you know. They seem to be pretty comfortable offering the Six of Pentacles in terms of let's balance up, but it's coming from a sincere space that is the Ten of Cups, checking in with you, making sure all is well. Your method of approach and their method of approach are a little different. I see your kind of signature heat in everything that you do. I only show up to stuff that I feel very strongly or sincerely about. And they're like, I'm showing up to this because I understand it's a good thing to do and I want to participate in it. But yeah, I have two people possibly connecting soon. Very different speeds once more, but nonetheless, it seems healthily or sincerely connected. And the whole thing is, how's it going? Ten of Cups. We need to balance up. Let's get back in each other's lives. Let's get back in each other's lives. We lost context or something like this. I'm not quite sure. But like I said, you are in a position of literally getting your foundation, your work back on track. You've done some good work here in the emotionality, spirituality, all that good stuff. Very happy for you. This is a job well done. You know, just want to let you know that's coming up. Yeah, but things are looking quite harmonious between yourself and someone else. Last quarter moon in Taurus, be proud of yourself, as you should. I hope I've emphasized that from the very beginning of this reading. You should be proud of yourself. You've done some fantastic work in there. You really have. Okay? All right. So that would likely then explain this level of communication. Like I said, you two have a vested interest in each other, particularly where it seems balancing. Making sure the other person's okay. Well, that just seems to be your two's MO in terms of your relationship pattern. But it looks healthy. You look healthy. I want you to be proud of yourself, though. I have no doubt this person will express something similar. Pearl, the hidden gem, the wisdom. You are just full of hidden wisdoms. The gem, the pearl, the inside. Okay? The deep diver. Absolutely. Here we have the intuitive process and the worth of it all. Not everybody can see it. You have to dive deep to find its worth and value. And that's what that pearl of insight and wisdom is. And between intelligence and intuition, you have that. And it's beautiful. We have the letter N, E. We have the medallion of Leo. Some of you have some very strong Leo in your chart. Could be connecting to it. Their season might be important to you. Leo season specifically is 6 months or so. We got another couple weeks in Gemini, then we move into Cancer, then Leo. But Just to let you know. And then I know there's that tree of life, the Ten of Pentacles, the way of life, the roots of your connections and how deeply they run. That's paramount to you, and I can see that you are absolutely getting those back in working order. And as you do that, you also have taken an extraordinary amount of time to heal yourself personally. I don't know for how long. I don't know what that Four of Cups represents to you. I'm just happy to see it's on its way out the door. Okay, Sagittarius, honey, I hope this helped you. Congratulations again. Take care. Be well. Aries, what's up? What's going on? Let's take a look at Aries, please. All right, first card down, Ace of Pentacles, crossing Eight of Wands, crowning you, Ten of Cups, past Four of Pentacles, exiting Strength, before you, the Empress. Okay, interesting. Eight of Cups is in your strengths, Seven of Cups is in your environment. The Moon in your hopes and fears, the outcome is the Seven of Swords. It's interesting. Right now you're working. Let's make that clear. You're quite busy. You're quite preoccupied. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just where all your energy is right now. Many of you are focusing on getting your words correct, your actions correct, lined up, again, to facilitate work energies. Okay. And what's crowning you is the Ten of Cups. There's that sense of it's not just about me. Okay. It's not just about work for the sake of it. I have others in mind. Right? So many of you are in support roles or positions. And what's crowning you is that Ten of Cups, your inner circle. That's what's important to you, and that's why you work so darn hard. Your inner circle, once more, family, friends, spouses, kids, whatever that means to you. Everybody's inner circle is different. Sometimes it's 5 people, sometimes it's 50. I never know. But these are the people we look out upon the world, and we're glad they're there for reasons of love and support and care, you know? So that's why you're working so hard these days, is for the betterment, improvement, or stability of your inner circle, your Ten of Cups. Four of Pentacles is in the past, and this is a kind of stance you take. It's part of your bedrock and who you are. It's like the best of my time, energy, attention, efforts goes to that always. And that's kind of a stubborn point for you, but I understand that stubborn point. I really do. So it's in the past position. That doesn't mean it's over. It's just you're showing me this is your particular skill base or your belief system, and this is what kind of drives you to work so hard every day. Again, I completely understand. And this is something, again, you hold value to. And you don't part ways with that value. You say you live through that, operate through that every day. It serves you, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. Now, strength is on the exit. There's something here that's kind of powering down in your energy, okay? Strength of will, a sense of command, I don't quite know. I'm kind of curious about that. Upon your advice cards, if I don't see something clear, I'll ask directly what that is. But it is a kind of powering down, if you will. Not having to be so strong all the time, okay? Not having to lead so much all the time. Defensives possibly coming down. That need to defend territory might be coming down, okay? But that power drive, that strength of will, pursue, 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 pursue. You might be shifting down a little bit out of that into something softer. The Empress is before you, so there is a sense of tenderness here. And warmth. Don't get me wrong, the Empress is the height of productivity. That part, that element hasn't changed. There is still a growing sense of security, but now you're showing me a softening. Where here we have pursue, initiate, engage, strength of will, execute, execute. The Empress says I'm comfortable and I'm secure, and I trust that things are in motion. Okay? And that I can still build upon my world and my empire while still sharing the best of what I have to offer with something. So it's interesting. Something here is hitting for you notes of tenderness, warmth, perhaps some sort of compatibility. Maybe. I'm very curious because you did say you were kind of open. Let's talk about it. Eight of Cups is in your strengths. If you're saying if need be, if I need to walk away from a situation, I will. That doesn't mean I do it skipping, whistling a tune. Be like, if need be, if I'm in that position, I'll walk. If something's a bad emotional investment, I'll walk. If something here is not good for me, I walk. And I have to agree with that strength. It's not about having your will your way so much. It has more to do with, I know this isn't for me. Or I know I shouldn't be here. Or I know I'm not available. Or I shouldn't make myself available to a particular situation or person. You understand? That's the strength. You're saying if it meets anything I come across, situation, place, circumstance, or person that meets that criteria, I may not be happy about it, but I'll do the right thing. I'll walk from it. I know what I shouldn't be giving myself to emotionally. Even if I have to do it the hard way or learn it the hard way, eventually I'll do the right thing. Okay. 7 of Cups in your environment. You're saying you're open for feeling. You're open to exploring love, which means then that 8 of Cups is going to come in handy dandy because not all cups are worth exploring, right? But you know that. You're a smart Aries. You know that, and that's one of the things that's going to lend to your experiences or the experiences you don't want. I know this isn't good for me. I don't want to get invested further. Thank you. So you're showing me emotional boundaries, but with the willingness to explore. So I wonder what it is that kind of softens you a little bit. The moon and your hopes and fears. I'm curious about that. A little bit of fear of the unknown, that's normal. That's true for everybody. We can't all know everything. Some of us try as we might. We can't know everything. So I would say it's healthy to have a little bit of fear of the unknown. Okay? Our job is to live life as best we can. Okay? Eventually, the unknown pops up. And then we incorporate that. But there might be, for some of you, there's some unaddressed fears here. 7 of Swords in the outcome. I see you avoiding something. I don't want to deal with it. You don't want to deal with what? So, you already told me you were willing to walk. Okay. I see you avoiding something out there in the outcome. It's different. That's not an outcome that's forever. It's an outcome, it seems, based on a particular situation that you want to avoid. You already told me the kind of conditions for which you will get involved and explore, and that which you will not. The Fool, 2 of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, I told you. I think you're open to trying, absolutely. And that you authentically feel good about it right there. The Fool, 2 of Wands, Ace of Wands. You've made that decision in your spirit and in your heart. You'd like to open up to new experiences, new energies. You're actually authentically excited about it. That's a positive Fool, not a negative Fool. The positive Fool's ready to go. The positive Fool says, I want to put myself out there, and it's in ways big and small. Okay? I know you've been working hard for your inner circle. I know you have been focusing on stability, but I saw in you a softening element that says it doesn't have to be all that all the time. Like, I'm proud to do what I do. I do what I do for my inner circle, my family, for security, for myself and for others. You're like, that's paramount. That's not going to change. Like, you can set your watch by me. That's a value that's pre-existing, and it's not going anywhere. But for you, personally, you'd like to dial back some of that strength and come into contact with something a little more softer, okay? A little bit more your vibe, your energy, your values. And you're open towards it. I see that. Something calls you. That instinct is not incorrect. Something indeed calls you. And I see you respond. You want to participate. You are putting yourself out there. I'm not saying all the time. No, no, no. This is in small ways, but it's in those small ways that make all the difference. And I see you exploring something, and something softens you. Something almost provokes your Empress here. You respond positively to it. I believe it's energy that's a little bit more on the personal side, yes. It makes you feel alive, but at the same time grounded, appreciated, respected. Kind of triggers a maternal instinct. I'm not saying you have to be female. I'm saying it triggers a maternal instinct. To love and to appreciate, to care and to nurture. I want to nurture this. Said you're open. I see you being open to exploring something with somebody. You had to dial back the strength of the pride to do that, though. Otherwise, I don't think you would have done this unless there's a sense of Empress here. So what's this bit then about fear of the unknown and something you're avoiding? What is this? You told me distinctly you know how to walk. Good. King of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Four of Swords. Oh. Okay. Okay. Why do we avoid this person? Why do we avoid this person? Three of Swords, King of Swords, Two of Swords, because you say they represent, while there's something here that you say you will not open towards, they're not part of it. You're afraid that one day perhaps it will connect, or it represents a space of the unknown, something that might arrive in time, and you're not quite sure about it. You're saying it's a strong connection that you associate with heartbreak and confusion. Is something that you say you've done your best to recover from with the Four of Swords, the Lovers, and the King of Pentacles. So there's someone here that you had a very strong connection to, deeply attracted to. If you had stronger feelings of connectivity to it, you would know best. You're saying you've done your best to recover from that person, and that you also are kind of afraid of another situation like this, where it's very strongly attracted, but ultimately it hurts, confuses, and disappoints. Okay, you're saying that represents a space of fear of the unknown, of having to go through something like that again. You don't want to be met with that again, especially you're saying you're open, but you're cautiously open. You want to explore, but in a way that's reasonable and something that brings out your better characteristics. It's kind of like, if I take the focus off work over here, it must be important. So in some way, I see you exploring, the willingness to explore to find your equal. But you gave me a caveat. You're saying there's something here that represents the fear of the unknown, or an unresolved fear. You don't want to ever have to deal with something like this again, because it represents a certain time and investment in healing from this, a strong connection, deeply attracted to it, but represented way too much confusion and pain. Okay. You're like, I'd rather avoid that. Seven of Swords, that's active avoidance. You don't ever want to have to deal with a profile like that again. Okay. For being heartbroken and confused over a very strong connection, like I'd rather avoid that. So you're showing me I'm going to cautiously, but rightfully, open up. I want to be the Empress. I want to express myself. I want to express my nurturing, my love, my care, my tenderness, and my sexuality too. But I want to do so in a way that's safe and makes sense, and also, frankly, inspires me to open up towards it. I want my equal, not just a very strongly attractive connection. I feel like I've done that. I want something real. So I will open up, but I also know when to walk. I got you. I understand. You're saying you don't ever want to go through that again. It was way too mysterious, heartbreaking, scary, represents too much of the unknown, unaddressed fears. It was your worst nightmare of a connection that you did your best to resolve and work through. And you're saying, I can only know so much about it, but I tell you what, I don't ever want that coming up ever again. We will avoid that. If it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't provoke a quality response in terms of equality, I won't explore it. That's it. Okay. Okay, very good. I'm actually more curious then. I'm actually, you have such a solid base of operations. I don't want you Interesting, that shifting downwards of strength. So that means then, up until recently, you have been opposing intimate connections, haven't you? And focusing on family and constructive endeavors, business practices, things like that. I see. So you're temporarily shifting out of strength to soften your energy, to connect with something that you feel is more like you. So that's soon then, very soon. Okay. First quarter moon in Leo. Be humble. Yes. Okay. Dialing down that strength right there. So you have some interesting Leo in your chart. Okay. Yeah, be humble. Last quarter moon in Scorpio. Reveal what needs to be seen. Okay. As you open up and explore this, mind you, once more, you're looking for your equal, not just a connection that will confuse and hurt you, right? You're saying my equal has definitions like I do. My equal have no problem declaring themselves like I would. In other words, my equal will be like me. It won't be a confusing mess of strong attraction that is very confusing and painful. No, no, no. An equal doesn't do that. So, reveal what needs to be seen. And then practice gratitude. I'm sorry, not you. Last quarter moon in Sagittarius, but practice gratitude. Okay? No, it's Saggy. So you might have some very strong fire overall in your chart. The whole thing. You could be a triple quad Aries, I should say fire side. Here we got them all here, Sag, Leo, and then a touch of Scorpio as well. Okay. It's been a while since I used the coffee cup oracle. I'm very curious, though, about what you're opening towards. Because I see you. It's like I feel good about this alliance. Is it going to be Leo, guys? Is it a Leo? Hey, we're entering the season soon enough. Why not? I mean, it's 6 weeks. That's nothing. That's nothing in tarot time. What is that? Nothing. It's Gemini, Cancer, Leo season. Hey, or it could be straight up Leo. I keep seeing that. Strength, success. And I can see that you have that kind of attitude, that energy, that sense of persistence pays, defending one's territory, and then pursue with strength and pride and all that, but you dialed that back and you incorporated some more feminine, softer qualities in order to connect with somebody who you feel, at least on the outset, is like you, and you want to demonstrate that. Because again, you're trying to attract an equal here. You've had your time with very strong but confusing connections that don't go anywhere. You're like, I don't want to do that mess again. And I can see that somewhere deep down inside, you're still kind of afraid that might happen. And I don't blame you. You experienced some bullshit like that once. You never want to experience it again. What's the point of being so strongly attracted to someone and it has absolutely no bearance or relevancy in a long-lasting way? I get you. We can go into that about lessons, and ultimately you learn something from it. But I get it. You want something that matches your vision of self. And I got to tell you, you open up to something that keeps coming across as Leo, or at the height, if you will, of that season. So July, maybe. Okay. Well, late July, August. Okay. We have D, C, V, X, V, 2 V's, and 2 N's. So let me roll that back. 2 N's, 2 V's, X, C, D. Yeah. All right, Aries, honey, I hope this helped you. Yours was very interesting today. I actually would have enjoyed taking this to an in-depth. There was a lot to process in here, but you have a strong sense of self, strengths, priorities, boundaries, what you will explore and what you won't. And you've made that very clear, and that's good because that's half the battle. Again, I want you connecting to what's right for you and not what isn't. And you connecting to something soon enough. I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Aquarius, what's up? Show me, Aquarius. All right, first card down. Judgment, crossing, 2 swords, crowning you, 6 of cups. Past, the chariot, exiting, 3 of pentacles. Before you, the magician, strengths, justice, environment, 7 of wands. Yeah. Knight of swords and the hopes and fears, and the outcome is the Knight of wands. Yeah, good. You are due for an energetic turnaround. These things take time, as you've experienced with your opening here. Judgment, 2 of swords. You've been working on releasing something that largely represents confusion. It's kind of like this subject, Christina, this particular subject, I've never had a solid conclusion on it. I've never had a solid answer for it. I've done my best to understand it. I don't want to keep thinking about it. Kind of want to let it go to the universe. You know, it represents a point of confusion in your life that, again, once more, it's confusing. You don't know what to make of it. Okay? And again, it's not for lack of trying to understand it. No, no, no. You've tried to understand it repeatedly, and you have no better answers today than you did yesterday. So it's kind of like, I just want to let it go then. Be at peace with whatever that particular subject is. And what's crowning you is the Six of Cups. I know there's a connection here of importance to you. Okay? Possibly soul bond. But even if you don't believe in that, that's cool. It's kind of like I've known them for a long time, and I recognize that connection. I understand how I am emotionally connected to it or spiritually connected to it, but it also represents a long-standing point of confusion for you. Okay? For what you give to it or receive from it, the actual value of place and what you feel for it, that doesn't seem to be the issue. It's how it was carried out, that connection in your real life. That's what confuses you. But it's with you. You think about it all the time. There is love there. There is support there. The Chariot's in the past. Doesn't mean it's over. It's just something that you're used to. You're used to operating at a certain speed. You're used to operating from a space of no checkpoints, no speed bumps. You tend to just go. And whatever this connection is, you weren't just able to go with it. Just run with it. See where it takes you. Otherwise, that Aquarius, you tell me, typically once you know what you're doing, you're off like a rocket. Finding space for this connection, specifically its meaning in your life, was not something you could just take off with, which would be, again, your preferred method. Something about it was never straightforward to you. Otherwise, you're go. I know you. When you've made up your mind, you have a tendency to go. With or without feedback from others, Aquarius is going to do what Aquarius is going to do. It's one of your power structures. But I can see where if you have that Chariot influence, it's like I picked my direction. Boom. But when it comes to this connection, while you are deeply connected to it, it confused you a great deal. Why doesn't it make more sense in the 3D? Three of Pentacles is on the exit. Because whatever this is has never really shown resolve in a way that makes sense to you, understandably, you have given it less and less. We'll call it friendship. But even then, you're like, that was a very loose definition of friendship. I'm not as inclined to give to this connection as I once was. And when you did, it was most likely an effort to better define it. I feel connected to this personally. I would like to give to it. I would like to receive from it. But this person and I, we have a hard time understanding what that means, or how to build into it, or who does what, or who's responsible for this portion of the friendship. So I don't know how long this deep connection remained fuzzy and kind of undefined, but it's not what you're used to. So I see yourself just kind of like, I don't want to keep questioning it. What I'm going to do, I respect it, it's with me, I'm going to give it less and kind of move on with my life. Okay? Is it completely done? Is it completely over? Whatever this friendship is or this connection is, I don't know. But I see you like, I want to question it less and move on with my personal self and goals more. Okay? And why is this with you now? Because this is just something for some of you, many of you perhaps, recently concluded. And it feels like a safe conclusion. It feels like a reasonable conclusion. I don't know that it's your conclusion forever, but I have to agree with it because I see that it met your goal. It freed up space for you. I see that. Okay? You needed more space to move around and do other things other than just give this your concentration and why won't this make more sense? You know what? I have more energy in me than this. I try to think about it all the time and make space for it. I think I kind of want to do other things now. Okay? All right. Before you, the magician, there you are, pulling in from the universe that which you would like to open up towards. You're going to make something happen. I see that. Justice is in your strengths. You really pride yourself on doing what's correct. I understand. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful sense of operation and how to carry out life. You have to excuse me if I pause your message. I promise you it will pick right back up where it left off. But here in that sense of justice, it's a beautiful strength to have. You believe in correctness. You really do. What does that mean? Correctness for myself, a situation, your relationships to other people. Am I doing what's right? Technically, legally, spiritually, in a way that suggests I am harmonized with myself on this particular subject and then in my world. Okay, so everything begins with the self. The more harmonized you are on a particular subject within you, it shows externally too. So when you tell me you felt it was best to try to back off the definition of giving and receiving from this, that it is precious to you nonetheless, but you need to move your energies and attentions on to elsewhere, I believe that that was the best possible decision for you. Okay? Trust your sense of justice. That's a great strength to have. There's 7 wands in your environment. There you go. You're saying I need to kind of live up to my own code and standard a little more, protect myself a little more, boundaries. All right? Again, I see you reinforcing that. It's beautiful. Okay? And if this person, understands you at all, they would understand this. There's something about the structure you two could not mutually agree upon. So what you're insisting upon then makes sense to you. You need more definition and rules for yourself. Okay? The Knight of Swords and the hopes and fears. I hope my actions are correct. I admit there might be room for error. Again, if you're someone who prizes justice as a sense of strength, that makes perfect sense to me. Hopes and fears, once more, is a guarantee of nothing. It is simply a reflection of who we are on the inside. It makes sense then. I hope what I'm doing is correct. How I'm communicating and taking action is correct. But also, I admit room for error. Yeah. There you go. Makes perfect sense. And then the outcome is the Knight of Wands. There it is. Whatever it is you were manifesting, to free up your energy to do other things, to spend other energy elsewhere outside of this kind of confusing connection. You got it. It's with you. I see you exploring, and things just feel a little lighter for you, a little easier for you. And this is what you were hoping for yourself, just to kind of get back on track with whatever feels correct or feels good to you. It's almost like you're telling me in the loosest ways, I needed a break from this. It may not always be the case, but for now it is, and I'm okay with that. And you are. I'm glad. Okay? Not all soul bonds are straightforward. Not all of them are intimate, by the way, so I don't know who that is to you. It could be a sibling that you are struggling to have a relationship with. You want to understand them. You want to help, but you understand in some way it's not going in that direction. You see what I'm saying? It may not have been intimate. The point is, I'm saying it is because you've recently decided this for yourself, and I agree with your conclusion. There's something here about you cannot move towards the structure of this or give to it in a way that you understand will give back to you, that you recognize as being good, practical, reliable, or healthy. Okay? So, I see you enforcing your own particular standards and beliefs once more. This is a good thing. All right. Let's get some advice, please. Four of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, and 5. There it is. See, there's that sense of helplessness there. I hate that. See, there's more to the story, I know. That's why I value in-depth readings. You held on to this a long time, but it doesn't feel fair. The more you held on to this, trying to help someone else fix it or have someone participate with you, and they're not. 3 of Pentacles is I cannot emphasize that enough. It's a very basic cooperative structure. That's the idea. Friendship, partnership, collab. I throw in some of my chips, you throw in some of your chips, and together we make a bowl of chips. But someone kept bringing, say, I don't know, the salsa or whatever your condiment of choice is, and the other person never thought to do it. So someone always had that extra responsibility. Make sense? But, you know, extrapolate that in terms of intensity and time, energy, and effort given. So 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, 5 of Cups. This represents an outstanding ache, and it's disappointing, and it's hurtful. It's like the longer we held on to this, trying to make the pieces fit or grow, and someone else is refusing to cooperate in that way, or they don't see how, or, again, I'm glad your sense of justice inevitably kicked in. Rely upon what you know about yourself to be true. If you value justice and balance and you're not seeing it in this situation, and I don't know how long you didn't see it in this situation, it looks like a long time to me, the more and more proof you had that you were correct in maintaining space, standards, boundaries. Okay? Perhaps if this, because I whatever it is you didn't show me, it was done. You didn't. So whenever this connection, this bond of yours, has space to kind of get to, oh, I don't know, more redefined or better acquainted with itself and what it wants, there'll be time for that later. Okay? But yeah, I can see you've been carrying the disappointment of this for some time. I understand, honey. And it's too much. No wonder you wanted to do other things. And it's no wonder then. I'm glad they showed me the Chariot in your past position. This is what you're used to. When things make sense to you, you go. But this one, you couldn't use that speed. You couldn't use it. And that takes two. Someone has to cooperate with you. So it's with all due respect, and I get this, I got my own 6 of Cups too. It's with all due respect to that connection. They can't always connect with you at the same place, same time, same valued interest. And between the two of you, one of you was withholding for a while to the structure. Maybe they're in that space, maybe they got work to do, maybe they got healing to do. But I see you reinforcing your beliefs, which is good. Okay. 8 of Swords, stuck for some time. I see that. All right. 4 of Wands, the Hierophant, King of Cups. FYI, some of you have a very beautiful, loving, supportive relationship. This looks like marriage to me. Okay? That's not what I'm saying here today, but just FYI, 4 of Wands, the Hierophant, King of Cups. That is a very committed, very loving relationship. It's gorgeous. What about it? Queen of Wands, 10 of Cups, and the 5 of Wands. Okay. Okay, so I don't quite know what's going on here. I do believe that this represents a sore thumb and what otherwise looks like a happy dynamic in your inner circle. Because they are showing me that you look like a person of commitment. You look happily committed. Your heart space is happily occupied. It looks this way to me. But when it comes to the inner circle, which, by the way, is not just this. So this, 4 of Wands, is much more intimate between two people. 10 of Cups, pull it back. Okay? Here's an overarching. And what looks like you have a very healthy, supportive commitment. Oh, so slippy this deck is. I love it, but it's slippy. Okay, it's committed. It's beautiful. Here I have one person in the inner circle creating quite the stink. So it looks to me, if we pull back the lens, that this then is outside the inner circle. So this is someone whom we know. In the inner circle, once more, family, friends, support, love, and the idea is in the greater scheme of things, we kind of more or less all agree to get along for the name of love and support. And one person here is kind of fiery right now. Pushback, attitude, anger, frustration, and kind of causing a stink, not just for you, but for others as well. But this is someone, whereas other family members might interpret them as, oh, so-and-so, they've always been kind of a hothead. For you, you two go way back. You have a more intimate bond. I think you're that person that say, I know that person really well, and you do. And you probably always defend this person at the dinner table or at family functions or at holidays. That's what I'm guessing. I'd put good money on that, Aquarius. We're talking they're that cousin. They're that sibling. They're that somebody. You understand them better, or you always tried to. But for whatever reason, they've kind of lost sight of the support or structure you've tried to give them, where others perhaps found that difficult. It's not always easy to be in someone's corner all the time, especially when you kind of see what others experience, you know, a little too much. They need some space, okay? They need some space. Actually, let's hold off on that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Moonology. Okay. Release your blocks, first quarter moon in Scorpio, okay? Here's two. If you've said what you needed to say, out of fairness, there you go. You released your blocks. It's out there now. If you distance yourself from this, you stated clearly as to why you were able to release it, and hopefully it gave them something good to think about. Okay? All right. Oceans in reverse, distance, journey. Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like this is your ocean, your journey, or your distance to cross. I agree. Let's get some space, and if that's what they need, great. They can reapproach that distance later. All right? This was a bit trickier, but good. V, T, F, we have the medallions of Cancer, Scorpio, and Taurus. You might have any of these very strong placements in your chart. Could be connecting to other seasons, might be important to you. We have the snake in reverse. It doesn't look like it's a venomous or malicious thing. I think it's just someone who is not being aware. And it's time that they were aware. Okay? Okay. And then we have the crescent moon in reverse. There might be some interesting energy that happens around the next new moon, or lack of visibility, okay, around the moon structure. But this too shall pass. The moon represents phases in our life, okay? Aquarius, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Gemini, what's up? Show me, Gemini. Oh. Happy birthday. It's hard to believe we're still in Gemini season. I've kind of already fast forwarded. What's going on? But yeah, happy birthday. First card down, Knight of Cups, crossing, King of Wands, oh my. Knight of Swords crowning you. The Sun's in the past, exiting as Two of Pentacles, before you Four of Wands. Well, you go on then. Looks great. Two of Swords is in your strengths. We'll talk about that. The Chariot's in your environment. The Fool in your hopes and fears, and the outcome is Temperance. Yeah, that's wonderful. You're warming up to this. And I like the way you're doing it. But you are indeed warming up to this. The Knight of Cups. You got a beautiful heart space there. It's feeling soft. It's feeling open. It's feeling expressive, vulnerable, romantic. It could be that it's something coming towards you. However, I feel this coming from within. Okay? But as it resonates for now, I see you like, I'm feeling a certain way these days. And it feels good. King of Wands is crossing that. It's like, yeah, this does feel pretty good. So it's the idea of I want to open up. I want to soften up. I'm feeling so inclined. The passion's trying to make an appearance. And the more you kind of tap into what you naturally feel, the more that passion's going to become obvious. You know, the King of Wands is a passionate guy, but there's something there from the heart that you'd like to open up towards. And Knight of Swords is crowning, you know, in terms of your actual knight and how it operates and functions. I say you talking, communicating, taking action. It's on your mind. It's like it's starting out as a feeling. And as that King of Wands grows into the feeling, I start to see some action from you, possibly some communication, again, going external. It's been on your mind. And the feeling's catching up to what's in your mind, and they're matching. Okay, it's good. The Sun's in the past. You know what it is to be happy. You have a very strong idea of happiness, what warmth feels like. You do. And you want that. You want that for yourself. You want to experience it. You want to revel in it. It's gorgeous. You know? You want to be happy. You want to feel warm and happy, too. Okay? Two of Pentacles on the exit. Good. This sense of overthinking, delaying, putting off, that kind of thing. That's on its way out. Boo. Right? Two of Pentacles. Boo. It allows us a lot of room to maneuver, backtrack, second guess ourselves. Maybe A, maybe B, maybe I do nothing. Let's just keep juggling those coins, shall we? Now, Two of Pentacles can often be a process, but more often than not, it's delay. You know, I don't know about left or right, so maybe I'll just stand still for right now. That kind of thing. So that's on its way out. Yeah, you're so close. You're so close to officially allowing yourself to move under this energy, these thoughts, these feelings. You know, instead of, I don't know, you're like, I'm starting to know a little more every day and feeling that a little more every day. I want to be happy. I want to express myself. And you have an idea of how you'd like to do that before you, immediate future, 4 of Wands, some sort of relationship. Relationship, once more, is 2 people define it. So I don't know how you're going to define it with someone else, but you're interested. You're interested in receiving a definition. Now, 2 of Swords is in your strength. For some of you, you might think that overthinking is a strength. Okay, I kind of get that. In terms of anxious thoughts, it does have a way of preparation, or to prepare one's mind. Have I thought of everything? But you can also see, absolutely, the other hand of that, where it can lead into a weakness of overthinking to the point of shutting down or delay. So for some of you, I understand and respect that sense of strength. You know. Did I think of everything? Probably not. Let's delay. Let's put it off. Again, it has its moments in terms of strengths, but also can lend itself to weakness. So if you're saying that that's the strength, it's on you to understand the difference between the two. The difference between you being thorough and canvassing everything in your mind versus I'm just putting shit off, aren't I? Okay, it's a fine line. Remember, pros are cons, cons are pros. Strengths are weaknesses. Superpowers have kryptonite, so on and so forth. All right? But just so long as you're aware, there you go. The Charioteer environment, you know, that's great. That actually kind of makes me happy, because once you know, once you allow yourself to know, once you allow yourself to acknowledge these thoughts and feelings, you're going to take off. Boom, out the door, Chariot. Things are going to move pretty fast for you. And I can see why. You got some powerful feelings in there. And they're simple, they're natural, they're organic, they're correct. You want to grow into them, express them, so on and so forth. So, again, once we stop this 2 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles business more officially, you'll take off very quickly. Okay? The Fool's in your hopes and fears. Yeah, I mean, do you get it, though? I get it. And I hope you do, too. Your hopes and fears makes perfect sense. Once more is not an outcome. It's just a reflection of who we are. And you kind of told me who you are. So the Fool there makes perfect sense to me. I want to open up. I'm kind of afraid to. So in your 2 of Swords process, I think I'm ready to open up. My evidence tells me this. And then we also kind of fear 2 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, shut it down. Maybe we're not. Logically speaking, this might be why I'm not ready. And you'll go back and forth and back and forth. And at some point, you have concluded in your own kind of Gemini internal way, okay, I'm done going back and forth. Okay? But yeah, the Fool there. To open up, to not open up. New beginning, no new beginning. You know, take a chance, take a risk. Take a chance, take a risk. You see how it works? It matches. Okay? You're showing me consistency, so it matches. Makes sense to me. Temperance in your outcome. You know, I want you to trust in your healing. Give yourself patience. So even though whatever this is will take off quickly, I want you to enjoy it with temperance. See it as a reflection of your path. Okay? How you got into it, where you earned being where you are in terms of space and readiness. I want you to enjoy it. Okay? Whatever this is you're connecting to is going to represent or reflect the better parts of you that are ready, healed, conscientious, this kind of thing. Okay? Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's get some advice for you. I think you're doing great, though, personally, but still, we have a job to do. But yeah, I like your outcome. Take your time with this. It might seem like it's moving fast, but I promise you, I think you're that Gemini. You're more prepared than you know. And it's not till you start putting one foot in front of the other that you're like, oh, I got this. This is so easy. Oh, my God. You know, that's the difference between marathon day and preparing for one, right? It's not till you actually get there as the day that you're like, oh, yeah, this is what all this practice has been for, is literally for this day. I got this. I got this. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. No, that's what you got it. You got it, honey. You got this. Page of Swords, the Lovers, that's you, and the High Priestess. You had to be open more to your own particular process. I agree. That's not always straightforward. You're like, what? I'm me. I'm always me. It's not an insult. Don't take it as one. We all have experiences in life that can kind of pull us back, dial us back, knock us down, or make us feel like we don't know much, or we're not doing much, or we're doing something wrong or incorrect, or just we can't trust ourselves. And what you're showing me is the Page of Swords in time and however long it took you. Do you see the back and forth process? The more we do back and forth, the more we diminish our own sense of worth and value and thinking, and we trust ourselves less. And that's something, if we work ourselves into it, we have to work ourselves out of it. And that's all you've done. And you've done a beautiful job, and I want you to trust that. So I know that there's times when you felt like a Page of Swords. I'm just looking, and that's all I can do is look, and there's nothing I can do, right? And then that's who you really are, though. You had to rediscover that, get back in tune with it, specifically with the High Priestess here. So I think the Gemini I'm looking at, you've never felt more like you now as we are in your season. And it's arriving at the right time, in the right way, in the right space for you. And it's beautiful. By the way, we're in a hell of a season this year. But I like how you seem to be unfolding beautifully back into your natural self, processes, superpowers, and then, of course, your intuitive self is there too. My question is, are you showing me the Lovers in and of your own right as your power card? Or am I seeing you drawn to someone? Right here at the Four of Wands. Do you feel you're equal? Do you have that vibrancy? Is that's why your energy's been warming up and warming up and warming up and trying to get more and more off the fence these days. Huh? Seven of Swords, Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands. Oh, no. There's your Knight of Cups again. Your Knight seems to know where it's going. It just, again, pulled back in terms of, I'm not going to fully address it at this time. That was like the most official, unofficial press release I've ever seen in my life. It goes back to your Two of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. I bet you can write the most neutral statements anyone's ever read where it says, I neither confirm nor deny. I neither confirm nor deny. I needed that laugh. Thank you. Oh, I needed that chuckle. That was a good chuckle. Well, there's a Knight of Cups. There's that Seven of Swords. Two of Swords is a kind of deviation of thoughts, not fully admitting. Again, it's not an insult. Don't take it as one. We all have these cards that pop up, and yours was pretty reasonable, I would say. You had to warm up to your sense of growing feeling. The Knight of Swords poses no problem for you. When it's time to communicate and take action, you can, you will. It was you growing into the feeling, and that's quite powerful. We have romance here, emotionality, vulnerability, passion, the strength and willingness behind you to be happy. You're aiming towards happiness. That was your whole gig this whole time. But allowing yourself to feel comfortable with the expression, allowing yourself to allow your Knights to deploy, and then also to receive. I see someone joining you in that space. I wanted to know specifically if you were just, again, feeling yourself once more, back in tune with your own sense of self, superpowers, and your intuitive process, or if the Lover's being true to its nature, you find yourself connecting. You have an idea, and you've had an idea, my dear, of where it should go. It's just you spent some time saying, I don't know that I'm ready, talking yourself out of it. But the feeling was growing. And then I see someone connecting to you in response. It has somewhere to go, and that Four of Wands isn't random. Oh, my. People are showing me, oh, stuff's happening. It's right around the corner. I was hoping this would happen, or I've been working up to this. I'm so happy for the work that people are showing me in sense of readiness, and this is what I'm trying to do, and I'm in touch with it. I'm in tune with it. It's been quite a surprise. It's nice. It's a nice surprise. It's a happy surprise. But, whether or not they're true equal, I don't know. But your heart seems to be determined to go in that direction once it has a stronger sense of its warm-up. But I do see someone joining you in that space. All right. I do know you're showing me a relationship energy. You feel a certain kind of way towards it. It's promised possibly for stability. I just know that once you make contact with it, boom. It's going to feel so good. But by all means, take your time with it. We don't want to rush everything, Okay. Full moon in Sagittarius. See the bigger picture. And then new moon in Virgo. Trust all will be well. Some of you might have some very strong Sag and or Virgo in your chart. Could be connecting to their seasons, might be important to you. But yes, I have to agree. Trust all that will be well. You know, we have to leave room for error. All we can do is reassure ourselves is that, okay, this is where I'm coming from. This is what I've been feeling. I think I'm ready. I could be wrong, but I think I'm ready. And I'm just going to trust that all will be well. And I have to keep in mind my bigger picture, and that is I want happiness. I'm here for a reason, right? I'm doing this for a reason. I'm warming up to this for a reason. It's not for nothing. You know, your heart has business to take care of in a particular direction, and you're getting comfortable with it. That's all you've shown me. Oh, yes, I'll get to that. One letter, just one. A whole bunch of medallions, one letter. C. C, that's it. Just C. And then we have the medallion of you. Aries, Sag, Libra, Pisces, and Capricorn. You might have any of these very strong placements in your chart. Could be connecting to, their seasons might be important to you. The key words here being intuitive, intelligent, charming, optimistic, courageous. Cool. All right. It's been a while since I used the coffee cup oracle. Dog. Oh, loyalty. Growing sense of determination, emotional loyalty here as well. Romantic loyalty, something like that, where you accept this rose. It does represent that kind of space of vulnerability here. Opening up, making the gesture. Here's my gesture of softness. Will you please consider it? Will you take this flower? That kind of thing. Again, once more, it could be coming towards you, but I am seeing this from the inside out. But there you go. As it resonates. Gemini, honey, good job. I like this. I hope it helped. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Libra, what's up? Show me Libra. Okay. First card down. Seven of Wands. Crossing the Magician, crowning you, the World. Okay. King of Swords is in the past, exiting Queen of Cups before you, Page of Pentacles. All right. Queen of Swords is in your strengths. Your environment is the Ten of Swords. Hopes and fears is the Page of Cups, and the outcome is the Ace of Pentacles. Brand new beginnings in order, but first we kind of got to get through it, right? Whatever that is, we got to get through it. Seven of Wands, I see you protecting your sense of self and reinforcing your boundaries. You're saying there's something here. I'm struggling. You're being very honest with me. You're struggling not to summon anymore. That tells me prior to this, you were very comfortable trying to manifest it, summon it, put energy into it, call on it from the universe. Like, I have to shut that down. Got to shut it down. Got to shut it down, bro, sis. To protect myself, my energy, I know I'm not supposed to call on this anymore. Excuse the outside noise. That's the housework. But yeah, there's a sense of I need strength of will at this time to leave whatever this is alone. Like, I got other things to do with my manifestation, and I know it. So you're kind of showing me a sense of self and responsibility here as the cycle closes out. The World is crowning you. You're saying you know this particular chapter is closed. You know that. And you're saying you're doing your best to uphold it and to honor it. Okay? We don't want to continue on with this cycle. We don't want to try to re-engage with it. We don't want to try to get it back open. You're like, nope. I am looking to myself, at least, to uphold my own standards and say, I won't call on this. I won't ask for it anymore. I'm allowing this thing to close out, and I'm doing my part. Hands off. You made that very clear, okay? So you see yourself then as a responsible manifester, which is good. You're saying just because I can manifest doesn't mean I should. You're absolutely right. Well done. Good job. But this is an important point that you're upholding. It's like this is from a space of integrity, self, protecting myself. Okay. I honor this cycle. I will allow it to pass. It will pass. Very good. And this is a decision that you made between you and you. There you are. King of Swords is in your past. That doesn't mean it's over. It's just something you're familiar with. You understand that kind of, well, that kind of upper management, if you will, energy that is the King of Swords. Someone who uses information, logic, rationality, reasoning, and a strength of will and focus to uphold it. And you're like, I made that decision. I hold myself responsible to reinforce it. So here you're showing me a lot of strength of mind and strength of will. Very good. Queen of Cups is on the exit. That could be whatever this is that's exiting out of your life, someone's heart space. It could be you, though. Absolutely. In terms of your softness towards this, your emotional softness, specifically your love, I'm actually inclined to interpret it that way. Yes, it could represent an actual person. Whenever I see someone's dealing with a cycle and they are activating it or participating in that cycle to make sure, like I'm doing my part to make sure that's closed, that could absolutely be someone else's energy. It's on its way out. I strongly believe, though, primary interpretation is your heart space. I believe you switched modalities. Okay? Between you used to have an open, loving heart towards this, that you understood it was on you to shut it down. Okay? So you switched from emotional openness, I love this and I know that, and I'm open towards it, towards I'm no longer making myself available to this, and I know that. And I made that decision between me and me. Therefore, it's on me to uphold it. And again, you're showing me high levels of responsibility here. I made that decision. You're showing me physical strength, spiritual strength, and mental strength. So here is that soft spot. Saying that's not needed here. Okay? Page of Pentacles before you in future. Some form of investment for some of you. To invest in something. I don't know what it is. I don't know how big it is. I don't know how small it is. I have an idea, though, towards the end at the Ace of Pentacles and the outcome. But change begins now. Soon. And you will see the fullness of that decision, that investment, later. ... Queen of Swords. Yeah. And your strengths, absolutely. Some of you are double, triple, quad air. I'm loving it. He's so informatic, so intelligent, such sharp mind, such sharp focus. You know, something I always tell people all the time, I have about 6 placements in Libra. So I have a very, what you call, undiversified chart. I have like 4 critical elements: Scorpio, Aries, Sag, Libra. And Libra takes up a huge portion. And I would tell people all the time, you know, it's in that respect of negativity. Don't get my attention in the wrong way, because you will receive my focus. You don't want my focus. You really don't. You don't want 100% of my focus. I'm scary when I focus. And you're kind of showing me that too. And that you're very comfortable living in your headspace, thinking things out well in advance before they happen, plotting things out, writing things down, getting organized, and then just that focus that's razor sharp. So it's in your past character, sense of self that's with you in present day. It's literally your strength. Like, so, yeah, I get you. So when you said you were honoring this cycle, you're doing your part, you're doing your bit, you look to yourself, you had to give up your heart space for this and switch to a mind. It's like, no, logically this needs to close. It looks like you went from softness to a certain sort of cold and hardness. I understand you. Okay, I'm sure you get a lot of shit about it, but it's also in that space of this is what I do to protect myself and uphold my end of the cycle. This is for a reason. I know some people might consider you cold, shut down, or hard ass, but I know better. And I think you do too. I hope you do. Remember, that cycle didn't happen out of thin air. It's there for a reason. Let's talk about it. 10 of Swords is in your environment. Whatever this was extremely painful. You had your reasons. The environment in some way was very unstable, not cohesive, not conducive to healthy way of life. Painful. And also no hope. Or you didn't want to play into false hope. And the 10 of Swords, it confuses people because, you know, there's often an element of hope or yellow light in the background. That's often how the 10 of Swords is depicted, because there's always hope after an ending. That's true, but it should be hope with the self. And I think here you're showing me this was very painful, and I recognize in my part the responsibility to shut this down because I don't want any more false hope in this direction. Thank you. I'd rather a new beginning that makes sense to me. Yeah. I understand you. Page of Cups and your hopes and fears, we'll take that. To, you know, opening the heart towards this, the correctness of it, feeling the correctness of it, the fear that you did, the hope that you did, and what does that look for you in future. These are very manageable pages. Okay? Very manageable. I just want you to trust that you felt what you felt once upon a time, and that was correct, And what you feel now and what you've arrived to now is equally correct. Okay? Invest accordingly. And the outcome is the Ace of Pentacles here. And you closing out this cycle, you are making space for new. A new opportunity in work, career goals, I don't know, making a clean slate of your foundation, a new beginning in something. It has walls, it has structure, it has meaning, it has context, it has investment. In other words, growth. Whatever this is was anti-growth. Otherwise, you would have invested in it. You know? But if this could have grown off the love you showed it, you might have had more with you in present day. But, you know, it's not how life worked here, you know? But you would know better than I do. But I feel a kind of closeness to you today, honey. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I feel closeness to you today. I really understand this. I do. Your reading made a lot of sense to me. Okay? And more to the point, I hope it did for you. It's meant to help you at the end of the day. All right. Let's get some advice, please. I think you've done an amazing job. Again, I bet you come across as cold and cutting and, oh, well, when that Libra makes up their mind, yeah, but look at where I was coming from prior to that. It was all good when I was soft and squishy, and when reality kicks in and I see what's actually happening, you don't like this version of me. Well, you probably shouldn't have helped make that space to meet this version of me. You know? That's all I'm saying. Well, yeah, people say that in comments all the time. No, I'm just saying. And here's what I'm just saying. Yeah. Two of Pentacles. We went back and forth on this one for a long time. Advice? It's taken me a minute to dial in your advice. What's going on? Four Swords, Page of Wands, Death. Oh, yeah, you gave this a darn good think. Yeah, I told you that wasn't random, honey. That didn't happen overnight. It's not like Libra's like, I woke up feeling crazy. I just thought I would shut this thing down. No, that's not how it works. And if that is how it works, goodness me, tarot's not your friend, honey. No, we need more work than that. Just waking up one day and randomly shutting shit down, because no, there was nothing random about it. Death, Page of Wands, Four Swords. We gave this a lot of thought, and it's like remaining open to this, even in the smallest of ways, is folly. You're like, it's like you're showing me zero tolerance. Whatever this is, as much as you might have loved it once upon a time, you're like, I have to take a zero tolerance stance on this. No openness, no cheekiness, no checking in on somebody, no little winky faces or whatever, no little likes on social media. You're like, zero tolerance. This needs a zero tolerance. It's to protect my damn self. It's not even about them or they at this point. It was what you had to do to protect yourself. You hold yourself. I mean, again, you showed me that from the very beginning. I'm holding myself responsible for this one, Chief. You know? Zero tolerance. You must have really loved this. And it may not have been of intimate partnership, but it's something that you deeply loved until you understood you couldn't afford to keep loving it. Okay? It hurt too much. So imagine it, to get that focused, it had to have been that painful. Nine of Cups, Queen of Swords, and Strength. You're saying this is a matter of self-interest and self-love, and I have to agree with you. Again, you're reinforcing your own standards. Beautiful. Well done. You know, people talk about boundaries all the time, and then they fail to enforce them. This was cyclic, wasn't it? Let's call it for what it is. You had a couple of rodeos with this, giving it a chance after chance because you loved it, and then you just saw how it hurt you and hurt you. And you had that case of this is a no-hope type situation. I need to understand, prior to the influence of whatever this situation, place, circumstance, or person was, default to my settings. Who the hell am I? Am I someone who tolerates this bullshit? No, I am not. I'm too smart for this. Literally, you're too smart for this. And it's like my big dumb heart got in the way. Well, I don't know what you loved, but you showed me emotional devotion to have cycle after cycle with this, and that's why you're adamant it's got to stop. It's got to stop. And you're like, and it doesn't hurt. I mean, it doesn't help, Christina, that I'm kind of a manifester. So you recognize how this came back over and over again, even in the smallest of ways, because you said zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. And again, do you see where that's coming through? Strength of mind and strength of will and strength of heart. Remember that you love yourself first and foremost. And that strong mind you have, baby, it showed up 3 times. Isn't a coincidence. It represents your strength of will to do the hard thing, to make the hard decisions. You know this was correct. Like, I don't want you to question that. And you really don't, because your Page of Cups and your hopes and fears, you knew. I don't think it was wrong of you to love this, but I also don't think it was right for you to keep it in your life. No. Again, the results speak for themselves. If you had something here that was healthy and more conducive to you, correct for you, you wouldn't have been so freaking adamant. Well, I'm not going to pursue that. I'm already lost interest. Page of Swords, 3 of Wands. This person, situation, whatever it is, it looks to you, it's thinking like it's a matter of time it'll come back, or you have to come back to me, or I'm waiting for Libra to come back. I need an excuse, because obviously if you shut everything down where you have a zero tolerance policy, they have to look to you to come to them. Because if they tried to do anything right, I don't know, it'd be about serious consequence, but they're going to feel way too small, eclipsed in your energy. That helplessness is going to be amplified, and you're like, yeah, I know. I'm the one who kept it open. If I hadn't, they wouldn't have done much anyway. You're like, I kept it open. I made it okay for their page to approach me, or their whatever to approach me, because that's all it ever was. Me keeping it open and them making attempts, or whatever the hell this was. But it's at such a distance. It's like maybe one day Libra will unblock me, or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. It's just so sad and detached and small from you. So, yeah, you know, you act small, you get small results. You wait for someone else to put themselves on the line repeatedly for character, strength of will, the Fool energy, put their love on the line. You get tired. You get tired. It's like, oh, this isn't real. This is a game. It's a little game, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, full moon in Scorpio. Breathe through the tension. You will have moments of tension. You will have moments where you feel yourself reaching backwards into the past. You will have moments of being acutely, painfully aware that you're manifesting in that direction, and you have to shut it down. Breathe through that and just understand that once more is correct. Some of you might have some very strong Scorpio in your chart. Use it, you know. Just that's my advice to you, is use it. And then full moon in Capricorn, take a reality check. Same. All right. Come on. Haven't used the coffee cup oracle in a hot minute. I was like, well, let's get that guy out. Speaking of which, I think I'm going to go ahead and take a little coffee break here. I'm feeling good about what we've done so far today. Take a little break. Teeth in reverse, giving up control. There's also a sense of no change. It's like pulling teeth. Nothing about the situation was going to change. No, it didn't matter how much you kept your heart open or whatever, or made it as easy for them as possible. Their page was going to stay a page. You know, it was like trying to pull teeth. No control, letting go of the situation. I mean, you had no say. Even though you tried to give it a lot of space to say, it had no say. Fish, abundance, luck. You've been blessed with the fish, abundance, luck. You can make things multiply and feed many, and that's beautiful. You're very resourceful. We're going to focus on that, and more so right out here towards that Ace of Pentacles, which once more I see you becoming acquainted with soon. It starts out with this little guy, and then it becomes a solid concept later. This is right around the corner. As soon as you start investing in this, you'll have a stronger idea of when that Ace of Pentacles finally pulls through all of it. Okay, what it represents, its meaning. For some of you, it's like, say, just to fit an example, it's not necessarily your truth, but as an example. Let's say some sort of opportunity, job opportunity, classic scenario, catches your eye. And you're like, So you do the thing, you fill out the app, you update your resume, you get your references, the whole thing, the whole nine. And you get that process going, and then boom, 2 months later, or whatever it is. Okay, see what I'm saying? Sometimes these things cook, but that one thing absolutely led to the other over here. Okay. We have the letters Q, V, H, and I, and the medallion of Aries once more. You could have some very strong Aries in your chart, could be connecting to, or their season might be important to you. Okay, Libra, honey, I hope this helped you. I really do. Congratulations once more. I hope, like I said, this helped, and I really like what you're doing here. It seems to be good for you. I know it is. And you're holding yourself to a very high standard, but it's one that makes sense to you, and it is doable. It is enforceable. Okay? But I hope to help. Take care. Be well. Taurus, what's up? Show me Taurus, please. All right, first card down. Strength, crossing, the sun, crowning, the hanged man. Okay. Past, the lovers. Exiting, the empress. Power card, power card, power card. Okay, before you, the ace of wands. Okay. There's a lot up here at the moment. Strengths, four of swords, environment, king of cups. Hopes and fears, queen of cups. Outcome is the nine of pentacles. Yeah, a lot of love here. Gosh, there's so much going on. Like I said, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power cards just in your opening. And then, of course, Ace of Wands, that, that doesn't hurt. Yeah, and it just kind of keeps going. So there's a lot of love here, a sense of joy, strength. Oh, my goodness. Okay, first of all, you might have a lot of Leo in your chart, or this upcoming Leo season might be of some significance to you, just FYI. Boom, straight away, strength and the sun. Beautiful combination. You're showing me a strength of will. I will. Mark my words. I will open up to happiness. Happiness will be mine. I am determined. I will have this. But you agree, it may not happen right away. The hanged man. It's kind of on pause. But it's a needed pause from your point of view. It's like the sun, happiness, happily ever after, strength of will to back that up, to pursue it. That's not just generated out of thin air, okay? I have to know that I want that. I have to work my way towards it, and I have to give this a great deal of consideration, because I burn with these things. I burn with these feelings. I burn with this truth. But I need to know what that means for me before I go out there and head off to this idea of happily ever after. What the hell does that mean? The hanged man. So pause. So there we have a very strong feeling, a very strong sense of, this is what calls me, this is what compels me, but hold on, what does that mean in reality with the hanged man? So pause. But it's a big pause, honey. Like that. This is not running lightly across this Taurus's mind or their spirit. You actually have very strong impressions of what constitutes happiness. You have very strong impressions about what constitutes connections and the strength of them, and passion and love. You're not rushing into this at all. You're taking it quite seriously. You're seeing it. You're looking at it. You're gathering so much energy. And when it's time to access that pool of it, you'll be ready. The Lovers is in your past. And then we have the Empress on the exit. And then the Ace of Wands before in your immediate future. Okay. Lots of thoughts there. Typically on the exit position, when I see a person of power or authority, I typically see it as that person's influence exiting. The past, as we know, or should know, doesn't mean it's over. That means we've experienced it before. On your past Taurian timeline, I'm looking at a Taurus, you experienced the Lovers in a very significant way. Okay? It left an impression. The Lovers tends to do that. Very strong it is, as we know. It's about as strong as this combined feeling. It's up there. Can't miss it. So I know you experienced the Lovers connection once upon a time in your past. It is separate from this Empress who's exiting. Okay, so I don't know who that is to you, but it's a person of influence that no longer has the influence. Okay? And it could be that you've taken your exit from a situation. It could be that someone else took an exit. I don't know. The point of the Emperor and Empress is that they have a certain VIP status, a very important person. This is someone whom we value their opinion, their function, their sense of empowerment or providership. It's saying that person's influence is on the way out. Okay. But whatever it is you experienced in the past still influences you. And you're thinking about all these things. Okay? The empowered person, the lover's connection, and what it is you're feeling now. Yeah, so you're doing a lot of self-regulation. What do I see for me in terms of strength and happily ever after? Okay. You're going to figure it out. Eventually you're going to take all this off pause. And then I see you open up to an Ace of Wands. Okay? All this is happening for a reason. Like I said, in a very elaborate way, you're gathering a sizable energetic pool. You're like, based on what's in there and what I know to be true for me and what I'm feeling, this is what I'm going to pull from that pool. This is what I want to open up to. This is what I want to feel. So, that Ace of Wands and how it actually looks like to you, it's a new beginning, yes. But here we actually have the release of all those energies, quite intense. Whatever it is you do, your focus is on new beginning, passion, love. But from that Hanged Man point of view of what you understand is happily ever after. It gives you strength. Gives you strength of will, gives you strength of mind, love, everything. Okay? That's your determination, not mine. I don't get to tell you what your Hanged Man concludes. I do know that you arrive to a conclusion, because when it's time to open up, you will. Okay? The Four of Swords is in your strengths. Good, you've been resting. I see that. We've been resting, we've been healing, we've been quiet, reflective, thinking our thoughts. And what does all this mean? What is happily ever after? And what am I ready for? I've had this kind of experience before. Yes. I've had that kind of experience before. Yes. I know I want and need something in my life that represents that level of strength and energy. What shall it be, Taurus? And so we're thinking about this and thinking about this. King of Cups in your environment. I know this. You're open, ready for love. To give and to receive. It's very fulfilling, very self-claiming. Hopes and fears. To share that frequency with somebody. There we have a matching suite. Good. Okay. So while I see the elements of warmth and intensity, oh my God, happily ever after, the happiest card in the deck, as they say, and the strength of will to back it up. We also have the intensity of the Lovers. We have the known energy of the Empress. You know what you conclude, more or less? I want someone to share a heart space with me and mean it. I want someone who feels as deeply as I do, and someone who can access their emotions like I do, someone who can foster and nurture a supporting, loving environment. That's what I want. Someone who is really open to giving and receiving love and sharing that frequency. It's strongly felt, fully embraced. And the Nine of Pentacles in your outcome. You will go your own way. In other words, you're going to do what's right for you. Trust your own sense of experience. Okay? You know how to build into your experience, and you will continue to do so. All right? And you will choose from a space of individuation and independence and knowing what's right for you. But I did want to know what you conclude here, because you have so many influences of a rich past experiences. Okay. So you conclude love. You're going to hold out for love, matching love. Okay? You have a lot to compare to. The Empress, the Lovers, Heat. Okay. I like love. I want love. The richness of it. The fullness of it. But above all, you want a loving, caring environment that supports you in here, right? On the inside. You want someone to share that frequency. So it's kind of like Empress, Lovers. Is it love? Real love. I think you're onto something there, honey. You know what it's like to have a VIP, and you know what it's like to be a VIP in someone else's world. You know that. You know what it is to be an emperor, empress in someone else's world and they in yours. And you know what it is to be a lover, to have a lover. Take away the titles. What do you want? Heat's going to be there. The attraction element, that's a no-brainer. It's a good signal, strong signal. But what do you want, love? Okay. And then I see you free to pursue it. So, thank goodness. Like I said, you're going to gather all that pool, and you're going to choose from that pool about what you're going to swim in. And you do want to swim. You do want to swim, honey. You want someone to swim with you. You really want love, nurturing, caring, support. Two of Cups, Ace of Wands. And, my darling, look at you. You've chosen. It's an eventuality. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We're talking not too long. You're talking to someone, Two of Cups, who represents that love. I like this. I like this because it's like, yes, the strength of personal conviction. Yes, I believe in happily ever after. Yes, I believe things take work in this life. Yes, I've had this. Yes, I've had that. And I know what that feels like too. And it's awesome. Let's take away the fancy titles. What do we want? We want love. The best of it. The kind that's shared, communicated, felt, expressed. That's what you want. We'll be talking to someone soon enough. You can't rock energy like this, honey, and not just, you're going to attract. The thing is, you want to attract from the heart, okay? That was the conclusion. Therefore, that's what you pull from. Love. Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. And aren't we attractive? Yes, the Nine of Pentacles is in the outcome. There you are again, cheeky monkey. Queen of Wands, oh, look who's been taking care of themselves. Oh, you didn't show me any of that. Don't get me wrong, you rock some fantastic energies. Even if it's contemplative, the point is that you've had enough influence that you know what it's like to carry these kind of energies, which means you've lived a certain kind of life. But it's great though, because you're. But physically, oh, we've been taking care of ourselves. We've been going back to the gym. You know, we've been doing better with our diet. And, you know, we got our hair did. We got a new outfit, whatever. I mean, we are looking quite spiffy. Quite spiffy right there. Oh, you're so ready. You're ready. All right, wrap it up. What? It was only... it's good. I was happy to bring this one to you today. B-E-A. Beautiful. And if for some reason the mic failed on me, because this does happen, especially on damp days, I will be exquisitely pissed. So we're going to think happy thoughts. We're going to think happy thoughts. This was great. This is great. Absolutely wonderful. Absolute banger. All right. I don't know, guys, it wasn't about the circumstances. You would know best about why that one exited. You would know best about why the lovers is in your past. The point is that you carry them as influences and opportunities for learning about happiness, and you get to choose that from this point forward about how you interpret it. And you know how you interpret it? It was fucking beautiful. Love. Shared love. Frequency love. Got it? I would say some of you might have some very interesting Scorpio in your chart. Even if it's an obscure placement, it is a proud one. New moon in Scorpio. Go deeper. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, you might be connecting to, and the seasons might be important to you. Of course, it's about to rain, naturally. The mower had to come out. That's a panic mow, if you didn't know. Oh, yes. Panic mowing is a real thing in the burbs. It's about to rain. Get the mowers! I'm laughing, but it's true. Fish. Abundance, luck. Yes, yes. You have been blessed with abundance, luck, prosperity. Also that sense of network connectivity. Okay, you're resourceful. Fish. Okay, and then you might have heard the old thing, oh, there's plenty of fish in the sea. You know, I just think you're resourceful, honey. You're abundant. You just have that way of luck or movement attached to you. Gazelle, change, purity. See, there's that purity. Look at that word. It's changing. It's at purity of the heart space. Just love. I want pure love. Never mind the fancy titles of Emperor and Empress and lovers. I want love. Pure, simple, strong, emotional devotion, emotional loyalty, because that's what they do. That's their whole gig. Okay? And a loving, nurturing environment specifically that harnesses that every day. Well done. Oh, I forgot. Technically, your message has been blessed by Our Lady Perpetual Lawn Care. All right, we have one letter. Why? I'll tell you what. We have the Medallion of Scorpio. So once more, you might have some very interesting Scorpio in your chart. Could be connecting to other seasons, might be important to you. We also have the Medallion of Libra. Here we have the Dragon. So you, in and of yourself, might have some Emperor qualities. Yeah, absolutely. Particularly Aries, but that sense of empowerment. There you go. The Infinity Loop, soul bond. We want a healthy soul bond. Okay, we want a healthy contract, something that gives to us in good, healthy ways. It feeds back to us in that way. Specifically for you, love. Taurus, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. She's one of your people, by the way. Thank you for saying hi to Virgo. I know. You're going to go to school here in a little bit. Can you chill? I know it's a nice sleepy morning. You chill? I'm about to go to school here in a little bit. Yeah. Can you wait? Pumpkin. Good morning, Virgo. What's up? What's going on? Trust me, we'll head out soon enough. I promise, Pumpkin. Oh, it's a hard day, especially when it's like a rainy day, and then I've got the housework going on, so it's hard for her. So we're going to go to school here in a minute. School. And that's where she gets to hang out with, with her fellows, her comrades, her friends, her buddies. And she comes home absolutely exhausted. I signed her up to a new program. So she will spend hours at a time with dogs her size, which I'm thankful for. It's a different kind of energy spend, when they're with dogs their size. So when I say she comes home exhausted, oh, it's amazing. And she's so happy, though. And she gets to play with other 4 full-size huskies, some that are actually larger than she is. So, yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Anyway, that's enough of that, Dad. Just want to let you know your little Virgos is doing just fine. But anyway, what's going on with you? What isn't going on for Virgo? First card down, 3 of Wands, crossing the Knight of Wands, crowning you, Ace of Swords, past, Queen of Pentacles, exiting 5 of Cups. Before you, Page of Pentacles. All right. Strengths, Knight of Cups. Oh. Environment, 7 of Swords. I'm curious about that. Hopes and fears, the Chariot. Ah. Okay. Okay, outcome is 3 of Cups. You got it. I was like, well, that's interesting. Given your profile, I'm like, believe in yourself, Virgo, and you're like, I will. And then you do. It is great. Hold on. Let's back up. 3 of Wands, Knight of Wands. You're looking at yourself right now for, I think, a sense, am I ready? Permission. Gosh, you got one foot there over the ledge, but in a happy way. It's like I'm about to step out into the world, an adventure. I'm just lingering a little bit, 3 of Wands, but you can feel the energy rising, bubbling in you, right? Knight of Wands, a sense of adventure calls you. And it arrives in you, I'm sure, in ways that are both subtle and not subtle on the day-to-day, But gosh, you look like you're so close to being ready and just opening up, What it is you feel compelled to open up towards, I don't know. But your energy's so close to just being like, I say carefree. So close. Ace of Swords, you got something on your mind. It's in your crowning position. Okay? Strong truth. Do you recognize this? Do you have plans? Are you shaping up those plans about what you're going to do with this energy, what it looks like, focusing it, how you're going to spend it? Because you're so close, my friend. To feeling it, tuning into it, doing something your way. It just has that feeling, it just has that vibe. But it's with you. You've thought about it many times. You're so close to releasing it. Frankly, it looks like you want to get out. You know what I mean? But, you know, whatever that means for you. In terms of I want to get out. I want to spend some energy. I just want to feel good about myself. And I want you to trust yourself. I do. I want you to trust that feeling because you're in a good place. Queen of Pentacles is in your past. It doesn't mean it's over. This is just what you're used to. You're used to stability. You're used to responsibility. You're used to practicality and reliability. You know, you've got things under control. You've got things in a stable way. You can trust yourself. If you feel like you want to open up to some energy that's positive and light and possibly even a touch impulsive, just know that it's coming from a good place in you. Queen of Pentacles, you got this, okay? You have a strong sense of self. You have a strong sense of home base. You're ready. Trust yourself. Get out there. Spend a little energy. It's been on your mind. You got a plan cooking back there. I know you. You just do. And this is what makes me also think that you're ready for this. Five of Cups is on the exit. Whatever sadness that you've been feeling, particularly notes of the past, okay? And Five of Cups has a different layer of intensity for everybody. How long it's been lingering, how long we've been dwelling in that feeling, working through that feeling. Point is, it's on your exit position. Good, good. You're tired of hanging out there with the Five of Cups, right? You know, Five of Cups, there's really only one member. It's that person, feeling the memories of the past, trapped by them in some way. Sad, loss, regret, remorse. You know, I'm glad to see that's on its way out for you. We don't want to feel that way so much anymore these days. We'd rather do other things, lighten up, have some fun. Just look forward to other things, because it's not all that. It's not like I'm seeing you do the fool's journey, going out there by leaps and bounds. It's just enough for you to spend energy in a different way that feels good. We'll take that. But yeah, Five of Cups, that's no good. We don't want to hang out there anymore. So whatever it is that's been haunting you, you're learning to let that go. Lean on it less, right? Sorry, I've had all this housework, and with rising humidity, we've had some winged friends make it through the door. And Page of Pentacles, you're doing something in your immediate future. For you, Page of Pentacles, perfectly normal. Just getting things going, getting things started, getting things generated. You know, putting some time, energy, and effort in small, realistic ways. Again, investing what I see here. A little bit of energy signature, lightness, a sense of warmth, fun. I like it. It's good. This is nice and tidy. Very you, very Virgo. All right, Knight of Cups is in your strengths. Well, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful strength to have. You're like, I can be when I want to be an expressive Virgo. You know, some of you may not see the Knight of Cups as a strength, but when you're in the flow of it, it absolutely is. The ability that in that moment you can express yourself in a deep way. In that moment, you can be vulnerable. In that moment, you can be romantic and feel comfortable with it. And that is a strength. It's not the easiest thing to do. A lot of people feel like they have to plan or control that Knight of Cups. So when you are actually authentically in tune with the feeling, it's beautiful. You can literally go with the flow when the conditions are just so or just right, or you feel safe to do so. So that's a beautiful strength to have, and I see you using it shortly. Let's talk about that. Seven Swords in your environment. You're like, hold on. Wait. I'm close. I'm almost there, Christina. I'm about to head out the door. I'm about to do it. I'm going to express myself. I'm going to make some investments. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to loosen up. It's all in the plan. Just give me a moment. Just give me a second. Seven Swords, a little bit of doubt, gets pulled back there. And then the Chariots and your hopes and fears, to take off or not to take off. To move in a particular direction or not to move in a particular direction. And then your outcome is Three of Cups. So you actually choose a particular direction. You hesitate just a little bit. That's what I saw in your opening, and that's what I saw in your environment. It could be that there is a delay surrounding your actual structure, that is your environment, such as timing, logistics. But it seems to me you've all but made up your mind. And there's a couple of pieces of what I would call hesitation in there. It looks like those moments of hesitation are exactly that. They're not major blocks. For the most part, the Virgo I'm looking at, you're in a space now where you want to open up. in some ways that are small and meaningful to you, that are good for you, and they literally feel right. It also means confirmation, by the way, that we don't want to indulge in the past anymore. We want to soften up. You keep telling me that. You're excited too, don't get me wrong, but you want to soften up. There's something here you want to express yourself to, and if I'm being perfectly honest with you, it connects with you in return. But yeah, there's a little bit of hesitation here before you actually officially allow yourself to open the door and get on the other side of it and get in your vehicle and go. So the Chariot and your hopes and fears, once more, it's not a conclusion. It's just a reflection of who we are on the inside. The Chariot's our most powerful movement. And it's kind of like you're saying, I hesitate because, Christina, once I get started, I don't like making stops. Or, you know how it is? Like once I get going, I don't want to be interrupted. So it's kind of like, do I have everything? So I see you, if you will, in the metaphor, kind of doing something that I know I do, triple checking my pockets. Do I have my keys? Do I have my phone? Do I have my wallet? Do I have my cinnamon? Okay, do I have everything? And here's the thing with that triple checking, it can take up time. And it seems like seconds, but somehow that can unravel into minutes. Now, take that for your reading today. Sometimes you kind of triple checking your readiness about opening up and doing some light investments into stuff that feels good, particularly emotional connectivity over here. You hesitating can add up to perhaps days or weeks while you triple check. Am I ready? Did I do this? Did I do that? But other than that, regardless, at some point, you feel secure enough to go out there and pursue something and connect from the heart. Starts out exciting as an idea, as a prospect. But then it takes on an emotional presence. So what appears like surface-ready energy turns into something that's a little bit more, personal, meaningful. And like I said, you connect to something, honey. I would say that hesitation I'm saying is not too bad, honestly. It's, I think you're referring to your Ace of Swords here. The way this looks in your head, in terms of the investment, how you're going to get that started, how you're going to show up in these energies, what it look like, how you're going to present yourself. But when you start making those investments, it goes into its more natural state, which was emotional expression. I dare say romantic for some of you, yes. Let's get some advice, please. Oh. Okay. There's that Seven of Swords, Temperance. Oh, Seven of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Kind of a shyness there, Seven of Swords. It's been a while since some of you have felt comfortable leaving the nest in the environment. For again, once more, you're well established. That's home base for many of you. You're well experienced in this. It's delving into your more personal side and allowing yourself a certain indulgence, allowing yourself to get the personal side a little more invested in these days. Whereas home base seems to be very comfortable for some of you. It's quite secure there. And there's some trepidation about leaving home base and exploring outside of it. But nonetheless, I see you putting on your little explorer's hat and doing exactly that. But there it is. There's that Seven of Swords here. It's almost coming across as shy. Just a wee bit. So it's like, I need a plan. I got to stick to the plan. I got to open up to the plan. I got to invest in the plan. And there you are, triple checking your pockets. And then you kind of show me the truth of why you're building up to something more on the personal side. I know it starts out as enthusiasm and excitement, but you're like, that's what it's really about, though. Emotional connectivity, and I hear the nervous laugh, sure. And there's a bit of shyness in there, and you've been working through that, and you're just like, it's a progress. It's a work in progress, okay? Some of you feel naturally socially shy, lisper. Socially shy, awkward. You've been working through that? Yeah. Well, you've done a good job then. Okay. Mission accomplished. You still connect with whatever's over there connecting back with you. Okay? You've been doing a good job. Good. Getting out of your comfort zone. Seeking outwards. What you feel is good. It's natural, and I'm glad that you're trying to honor it. And if you needed to develop a plan, great. So much the better. That gives you a visual, gives you something to stick to. Absolutely. But I'm just glad you're getting out of that. We're done with that. King of Cups, the World, and the Fool. Okay, many of you have done your time. Heart spaces for you have come and gone. Nonetheless, you have a big heart. I wouldn't be surprised you have some really strong water in your chart. You showed me what your strengths are. You're quite good at when you're in the moment, you're in the flow, you can be very romantic. So some of you have naturally strong heart spaces, and you've experienced your fair share of cycles, kind of like been there, done that, and you know deep down where it counts. Shyness aside, the disappearing of the past, letting it go, setting that aside, you can feel that you're ready for a new beginning. You can. That heart space with the King of Cups there, it's ready to stretch out once more. You've experienced your share of cycles. It's like I've done my time at home. You know, home's always going to be there. I want to open up a little bit. I think it's time. I think I'm ready. I think you're right. Okay. Well, this was quite sweet, Virgo, honey. This was very touching, kind of like your strength right here. I'm happy for you. I really am. First quarter moon in Gemini. Speak your world into being, and thus it will reflect as such. Everything begins with the self. What you acknowledge on the inside is eventually going to show on the outside, and that's how it works. Excuse me. What's going on? The Coffee Cup Oracle. Horse. Oh, the freedom to pursue, to take action. There it is. Yeah, you showed me a couple of nights and that willingness to move forward, movement. You want to feel that movement. And again, the idea of the horse is freedom. The freedom to move. The freedom to take action. Swiftly or slowly. Doesn't matter. Owning that feeling of moving it forward. Envelope. Here we have the unfolding of something. Oh, the unfolding of something, the surprise, the envelope, surprise letter, invitation, either being extended to you or perhaps you're extending to someone else. But yes, we have the unfolding of a letter, communication, thought, idea. Also the plan in here for some of you. Yes, the envelope. But yeah, surprise. Okay, cool. I didn't get to see anything really about the connecting side. I just know that you do. So for those of you who just wanted to feel some things, experience some social emotional interaction, that's exactly what you achieve. Okay? All right, we have the letters O, V, W, X, R. We have the medallion of Aquarius. Some of you might have some very strong Aquarius in your chart. Could be connected to. Other seasons might be important to you. And then we have the bicycle. The bicycle for some of you, it's very important in terms of profession, hobby. Perhaps that's how you get around. Instead of like the chariot as in a vehicle, perhaps some of you ride a bike. And then for other of you, the bicycle is just symbolic for one reason or another. All right, Virgo, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Capricorn, what's up? Show me Capricorn, please. All right, first card down. Three of Pentacles, crossing. Seven of Swords, Nine of Cups. Past is the Queen of Wands. Exiting is the Six of Swords. Before you is the Hanged Man. Okay. Strengths, Page of Wands. Environment, the Five of Wands. Hopes and fears, Justice. Outcome is the Nine of Wands. Gosh, honey, I see you trying to navigate some sort of friendship, cooperation, partnership. Three of Pentacles, Seven of Swords. You're like, I'm trying to be open towards it. But you're saying, I have my doubts. And you have your doubts. You do. You have your doubts. But you're not trying to fully give in to those doubts. You're given whatever this is, a real crack, a real shot. With the Three of Pentacles, like I can make this work. We can cooperate. Three of Pentacles, basic, bare minimum sense of cooperation. Okay. Putting something of ourselves into it. So again, it can have that configuration of friendship, partnership, that kind of thing. But you have your doubts. It's on the sideways. Try not to give in to those doubts. 9 of Cups, crowning you. You're saying, you know what? I choose to have like a good feeling towards this or good faith. I'm going to be positive about it. You're like, that's who you are. That's what you're about. You're saying you're doing this because you want to. And again, you're bringing to the table, whatever the situation is, a personal sense of faith. Okay. Goodwill. Good energy towards it. Queen of Wands in the past. Overall, you have a very positive disposition. That's a good past orientation. Doesn't mean that it's over. It's just, it's energy that you're familiar with. You tend to lean towards positivity, optimism, hope. Okay? As we just saw right here. Do you have your doubts about this friendship, partnership, collaboration? Yes. Are you letting it get to you? No. You're showing me, you know what? Open mind, open spirit. I choose to feel good about this. That's who I am. That's what I do. And you're giving this some fair shot energy here. Exiting, 6 of Swords. At some point there was space between you and this. Distance. I don't know what this is to you. But it's something that once upon a time either withdrew itself or you withdrew your participation from it. And it made some sort of reappearance. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. The Capricorn I'm looking at, you've already chosen to try to work with this, to cooperate with it in some way. And that viewpoint of optimism, it can make whatever this is work. But this is definitely coming from a drifting period. We left this alone for a while, okay? And in some way, you either came back to it or it came back to you, okay? And the Hanged Man is before you in the immediate future. Pay close attention to the results. Okay, this needs more perspective. Don't rush any big decisions on this one, okay? Don't get me wrong, I love your energy, I love your enthusiasm. You can honestly say you're giving this a darn good shot. And you mean it too. There's no contradiction in your energy, okay? You mean it. It's like whatever this is, it almost kind of has a second chance vibe. Friendship, partnership, something. But in the immediate future, the Hanged Man, give consideration to what's going on. And like I said, don't rush anything. Put a bit of a pause, all right, on any sort of final thoughts or results. Page of Wands and your strengths. Yeah, I see that. You have, even in the smallest of ways, a willingness to be open. Okay? You just have that light about you. The 5 of Wands in your environment. Frustration there. A little bit chaotic, maybe. Possibly dramatic. I hope not. But not as stable in the environment as we would like. Okay? Despite the kind of positivity and good energy you're bringing to this, there is a certain level of upheaval that comes with it. Okay? So pay attention to that. I can see that you're glad to try to bring this into the fold. But is it beneficial? All right? Justice and the hopes and fears. I hope this thing balances. Yeah, me too. Because you really are trying to give this a fair shake. You really are. You do believe in justice, and I'm happy that you believe in justice, and you believe in fairness. You really do. This is starting to feel very much like I'm giving you or this connection or friendship or partnership a second chance. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Please don't let me down. I'm trying to balance things. This is your time to shine. This is our time to kind of balance this thing. Don't let me down. Technically, spiritually, legally. So your hopes and fears in this context make a lot of sense. It's not an outcome. It's just what's going on inside you. And rightfully, you're afraid that things aren't very balanced here. But you hope they will be. Okay. 9 of Wands is in the outcome. Ultimately, honey, I see you rejecting this, putting up a firmer wall. I think whatever this is, you gave it a fair shot, a second chance. You tried to reincorporate it into the fold in some way. And I don't know it's necessarily living up to any sort of promise, but at least living up to fairness, it isn't. It's the more you keep yourself open towards this, your beautiful positive energy aside, The more you personally keep yourself open towards this in the effort of cooperation, the more havoc it seems to create in the environment. Drama there, backbiting, battle of wills, agenda pushing. It's frustrating because Three of Pentacles is a Three of Pentacles. You know, it's the idea of, hey, here's what it takes, bare minimum, to get along between us or in this situation or what we're working on. Okay? It ain't much. This is what I can do, this is what you can do. And you really tried to feel good about it. Yeah, you had doubts from the very beginning. And that's normal. That is very normal. And you're like, yeah, okay, this is where it's coming from. Okay, yeah, all right. But I'm open to it. I said I'd be open towards it. And I mean it. Okay, welcome back. Let's get back to work on this, whatever it is. But when you did that, that's why I'm saying the Hanged Man. We need more points of view. I really want you to take the time to look at the environment. While you might personally feel good about this, despite your doubts, okay, in the environment, how well is that being received? And at home, in the work structure, I don't quite know where this is, but is it calmer or more chaotic? And I think you have the answer, because there's that goes to a full wall, 9 of Wands. And now you're a little angry, a little resentful. It's like, man, I gave that a fair shot. I gave that a fair shake. I had legitimately hoped this thing would balance. You know? I'm trying to think about how to put this in context. The first thing that came to mind was kind of like a group project. This is just an example. But a group project, and there's that one person you know. Nobody else in the group knows them, but you do. They're like your best friend, and you want to get them involved in this group project. They got a good mind or a strong skill set, and you really want to bring that to the project. And they said they wouldn't, but okay, you got them to change their mind, and now they're joining the group. No one else in the group likes them. The energy they're bringing or what they have to contribute, and it causes a lot of upheaval, imbalanced energies. They're not taking well to the group. They're not as contributing as well as you had hoped they would. You see what I'm saying? So while personally you were excited by this, you see how it's negatively affecting the space. It's kind of like that. Okay, just as an example, it's not an absolute. Let's get some advice, please, for Capricorn. So I don't blame you in that respect of hopes and fears, the truth, Ace of Swords. Okay. For giving this a fair shot, but I also don't blame you for putting that wall up. There's something there you recognize. You know what? I had good faith in this, but it kind of proved me wrong. Okay. Ace of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, the King of Cups. You be honest. Be very honest with yourself. You know? There's a sense of love here from you and nurturing and caring, and that's a big part of who you are. It's a big part of your particular truth. That does not mean it was returned or received well or appreciated. Whatever gesture you were giving this, it doesn't mean it was returned to you in terms of appreciation or living up to how you were trying to include it. You know? But you can at least account for your side. Yeah, you knew what you were doing, or you had hoped you knew what the results would be. You have a very nurturing and loving quality in you. Okay. This is not a surprise to you. It's not a surprise to the Capricorn I'm looking at. It's your particular truth. You're saying you're not surprised. You tried to include this or make space for it. It's part of who you are. All right? You really tried to include this. It's personality, skills, assets, something. You really tried to include it. And that was coming from an authentically good place in you because you care about this person a lot. You do. You were hoping it would shape up. Ace of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Six of Swords. Yeah, Six of Swords that exited. When you reflect on this later, realize that there's a reason that situation or person exited to begin with. They didn't want in on this the first time. And whatever the reasons for coming back around to be included, or rather, perhaps you insisted to include them, I don't know. Remember that. That will give you some peace later. You know, they weren't really meant to contribute to whatever this is. It does look heavily like a work thing, a 3D thing, a tangible thing, environmental location thing. having to do with a realistic concept. They did a pass on it the first time. You know? That first instinct was probably correct. Whatever this is wasn't a good fit for them to be included. But you gave them a fair shot, or maybe they changed their mind. I don't know. Maybe you persuaded them over. I'm thinking that whatever this is changed their mind, and that's why you had doubts or misgivings. But you're like, you know what? They're showing up now. That's what counts. So I want you to give that. Think about that later. That's going to give you some consolation. You know yourself. You tend to be generous, loving, nurturing, caring. And while they may not have attached themselves to this opportunity from the beginning, they changed their mind. You did your best to include them. Okay? You did. All right? And that was coming from a good and honest place in you. All right? This is interesting. Sometimes, Capricorn, honey, your collective can point out the most, it seems like simple things, but I like the simple things. Honestly, one does get rather tired of the big, fancy readings. And that means the large concepts, which, of course, they're always going to be interesting. But sometimes it's nice to see just good, old-fashioned daily life reflected in tarot, because real tarot is real life. And, seeing things like this every day just kind of gives me reassurance that people are doing a good job and living their life. And they're thinking about real things, and they're doing real things, too. So I appreciate you for that. Last quarter moon in Virgo, attend to the details, and so you are. Okay? I would expect a certain level of cleanup after this takes its second exit, or you just reject it. But attend to the details. I know that you will. So you might have some very strong Virgo in your chart. Could be connecting to other season, might be important to you. Excuse me. Oh, I know. Some of you might have some very strong Libra in there too. There's that sense of fairness. Did this have something to do with some level of contract fulfillment? Opting out, changing the mind, trying to honor it? You trying to honor them, honoring the contract or something? Some level of participation? I don't know. Moose, acceptance, eccentric. Might have been connecting to an eccentric energy. One that's inconsistent. I accept them for the way they are. I care about them, but yeah, they can be a little eccentric, a little wishy-washy, a little change my mindsy. Okay. Okay, and then the bear. You being much more strength-oriented and resourceful. Okay. Your personalities are different. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of like you knew. You knew this wasn't their thing. This wasn't their gig. But doubts and misgivings aside, you thought they'd show up and finish the job or get along. Okay. All right. All right. Thanks for that. It's all right. A. The letter A, D, N, and then we have the seashell, sign of Cancer, but also listening. Listening to one's emotions and the feelings. And for some of you, this is going to strike home closer to Cancerian season, which is right around the corner from where we are. Okay, Capricorn, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Scorpio, what's up? Show me Scorpio, please. Okay, first card, the World, crossing, the Knights of Swords, Knight of Wands, crowning you, Page of Wands in the past, exiting the Hanged Man, before you, Queen of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Ace of Cups, strengths, that's cool. Temperance is in your environment, lovely. Hopes and fears, Six of Pentacles, and the outcome is you, King of Cups. Well done, darling. Well done. Okay, something here recently closed for you with the World. Okay, you know what's interesting is that you did your part to close it. Okay. It wasn't always easy for you. Okay, but you did your part to close up a cycle, to kind of button it up, finish it up. There were some times when your aim wasn't always on point, the Knight of Swords there. But at some point you got back to the idea, or you kept to the theme of it. It's like, you know what? I need to officially close that cycle out. I almost forgot. And then you put your Knight of Swords back on the case. So at some point, perhaps when you're closing out a cycle, your communication or behaviors became a little inconsistent, but eventually you closed something out officially. But you did it. You got to it. I feel like this is something you were meaning to close out for a long time, but you just now kind of officially got to it. And the Knight of Wands is crowning you. You're ready to feel other things, my friend. An energy burst. It's normal, it's natural, it's healthy, it's light, full of optimism, joy, maybe passion, sure. But a hope to do and feel other things, now that that's buttoned up, if you will. It looks very recent. You officially closing this? Again, it's almost look like it's... Oh yeah. I meant to close that out. I forgot to finish that up. Let's finish that up, please. Check that off. That's what it looks like to me. Don't get me wrong. That cycle was there. It's been there. But you fully accepting it? Or taking your final strides towards it? That's what I'm looking at. And in so doing, you have this natural flow around you now. Things feel lighter. Things feel easier. You find yourself spending your energy differently these days. Page of Wands in your past, yeah. Recent past, I would say. Just felt like now's the time to open up. The Hanged Man's on the exit. That's great. You literally took this off pause. When you finished this up, you took your energy off pause, and that's exiting now. Nothing there to think about anymore. Nothing to be suspended over anymore. No more pause. We can take our life off pause now, specifically your energy. And for some of you, no more overthinking this. It's complete. It's done. You acknowledge it. You accept it. No contest now. It's almost like, why didn't I finish that up sooner? It's a weird detail, right? But yeah, you just now kind of find yourself opening up in small ways. There's a lightness, a spring in your step, and it feels good. Feels good to take your life, specifically your energy, off pause. Don't get me wrong. There's a time and place for the Hanged Man, but his role is done here. Okay? Before you, Queen of Pentacles, a sense of worthiness, self-worth, feeling good, secure, stable. You like where you're at. When you take a look around, you're like, I've done okay. I've done okay for myself. I'm pretty resourceful, responsible, reliable. Not bad. You like where you're at. And you get confirmation of that soon, that sense of home, that sense of coziness, that sense of self-accomplishment. And then just being in touch in the general sense of one's worth and what you've done, what you've accomplished, and what you'll continue to do. It's a good feeling. Enjoy it. Strength, of course, Ace of Cups, classically, our master symbol there. Everything you do from the heart. That's a hell of a strength. Some would consider that a weakness. I don't. And for the Scorpio I'm looking at, neither do you. Very water. You know, if I don't feel it, I'm not into it. If I'm not into it, I don't do it. If I don't do it, that means I'm not putting myself into it, which means, going back to the main point, I don't believe in it. So you got to believe in it from the heart. That's what it is to be water-oriented. You know, you invest in your own emotion, the strength of your own personal conviction based on your feeling. It's a beautiful strength, yes, of course. Like all strengths, they have weaknesses, you know. But for the most part, it's beautiful. When you show up to something, you show up to something with full heart. You give it your best from where your best resides. Okay? But yeah, you also believe, by the way, in the power of new love, feeling it, being part of it, seeking it, if that's where you're at. You believe in that too. It seems like you're in a very good space, honey. Temperance is in your environment. You have a very comfortable sense of self. You're healing, you've been healing, but it's kind of quiet and calm where you are. You already kind of showed me a sense of appreciation, gratitude for your own comfort, and again, a sense of where you find yourself and what you call home. Also, once more, being reflected in temperance. Your home environment is your sanctuary. It's where you feel the most comfortable, calm, patient, kind. Just overall a healing environment. Beautiful. Good work. Six of Pentacles in your hopes and fears. Can I keep everything balanced? It seems like you're doing just fine. But there's that sense that these are the priorities that are ongoing. So the Six of Pentacles very rarely is just one thing. It's any one thing we've got going on in our reality that we contract ourselves to. We give something to it because we get something back from it. And you probably have a lot. Hopes and fears. You hope they all work out. Sometimes they get uneven. Sometimes they get imbalanced. Okay? But for the most part, you already kind of showed me a sense of self. I guess your hopes and fears then are just reasonable. Maintaining all your balances, all your priorities, staying on top of them. Are they getting the best of your attention, time, energy, attention, effort, loyalties? That's all in there. It's not an outcome. It's a guarantee of nothing. Just kind of shows me who you are on the inside. You take what you do seriously, and you bring your best game to it every day. King Cups is in the outcome. So I don't know what you were looking to feel these days, but many of you are squaring up or lining up to be more receiving of love energies. That was already kind of with you over here. And you're showing me some sense of comfort, gratitude, love of the self, security of self, feeling comfortable there, incredibly comfortable there. You're opening up your energies in a kind of relaxed way over here, having officially completed or accepted a cycle's over. Yeah. I'm doing the tarot math here, and it's adding up to when you're next ready to open up to love, well, you'll be exactly that, won't you? You'll be ready to give and receive from the heart. It's what you do. It's what you do well. But something tells me you won't line up with that until you comfortably recognize that this thing is done. And by that I mean recognize it in you. I don't quite think you know you're headed in that direction yet, and that's okay. If you're as water-oriented as I believe you are, you'll recognize it in feeling first before reality. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I know where this feeling's taking me. Could I be opening up? Is it my season? I like this little burst of freedom, that kick of freedom over here. Having let this go. Feels good. That's how it starts, you know. I don't know what that cycle was, but it's definitely something you are officially wrapping up. And I think you meant to wrap up some time ago, but you got distracted, or perhaps the thought arrived to you late in the game that allowed you to complete that cycle. Like, oh yeah, that is done, huh? But yes. You have a beautiful heart out there, right there towards the end. That's who you are. King of Cups, full ownership of thy feeling. Okay? You might be an internal King of Cups, in which case you have very strong feeling and you own them from the inside. You might be an external King of Cups. Okay? In other words, what you feel deeply, you have no problem showing on the outside. But either way, you're a big feeler. Four of Swords, Three of Cups, the world. You closed out a cycle of connectivity. It took you a while to heal through it, though. Four of Swords, Three of Cups. Recognizing in some way that it's officially over. But it was quite the process. It's like, oh yeah. I don't rush towards that anymore, and I haven't in a long time. And something about that clicks with you. What you connect to or whom you connect with today is very different than what you used to connect to. And that gives you a kind of sense of peace. Something there clicks for you. Because that's been in process. 3 of Cups, whatever you're connecting or reconnecting to. You've had a lot of time to process it. You understand why you don't do it anymore. The world, you understand why you cycle to doubt. But acknowledging it is being finalized. Perhaps some of you passed an anniversary marker. And that dawns on you. Oh, it's been 6 months or a year since I connected to that situation, place, circumstance, or person. I remember why I didn't or don't anymore. I guess I don't need to keep thinking about it or healing from it or being in a suspended state over it. It speaks for itself. There's that world again. Acknowledgement. I guess it really is closed. I don't seek it anymore. I'm not motivated by it anymore. Well done. The Sun, the Empress, and King of Swords. That's very different, isn't it? This isn't some paltry 3 of Cups here. This, oh no. Okay. This is something you had to consciously stop doing, reflect, and take time to heal over. But it's only connecting to you in present day that you're free from it. And that's been a while since you've connected to it. You understand why you stopped. But having that moment of reflecting on it, that it's done, it really is done. That's where you're at. This ain't no little 3 of Cups. This is pure sunshine. This is happiness ever after with someone of some significance. Do you see the difference? This is what you give up when you realize it ain't all that. This is what you choose when you realize it is all that. I'll tell you, the moment you start to feel your energy loosen up and you decide to start connecting outside of yourself, you start generating some activity. I see you bringing several key points home right around here at the Queen of Pentacles about self-worth and how it's correct and things feel right. At some point, your strength is activated. Ace of Cups reinforces all the healing work you've done. Temperance. The balances kind of speak for themselves, but your heart space is activated right there in the outcome. That's not a coincidence. This is what you call a keeper. They choose you to. This is the power of choice. I know what I got, and I'm choosing it. Very focused that person is. Razor sharp mind. Does that make you the Empress? I have 2 people here who are extraordinarily happy and a good match. That is indeed happily ever after. It ain't that. This is done. Something starts to shift for you, honey. This is how finally close this is. When this clicks for you, about that, oh, that, I don't connect to that, and I haven't in a long time. Something shifts in your energy, frees up a little more, and then boom, you're on the road to happily ever after, my friend. Now, I don't like overarching tarot like that. This is why I value in-depths, because I like to see the details. I want dates. I want places. But that's not where we are today. But I do hope it's where you are. For those of you who it's been a while since you've acknowledged not connecting to that whatever it was of the past, you're so close to realizing that, completing it, acknowledging that it's done. That's when things start to shift for you. You get out of the Hanged Man, you take your life off pause, and you start doing little things for yourself that initially feel good, and then something triggers that, oh, worthiness, yes, indeed. I am this person. I have done this. I have done that. I'm telling you, your Ace of Cups is activated. That is lovely. King of Swords, the Empress, the Sun. Yes. New Moon in Capricorn, step up and lead. Yeah, recognition in there. You got this. Step up and lead. You know, many of you are leaders, but you leading by your own example and recognizing your own effort. New Moon in Capricorn. And some of you might have some very strong Capricorn in your chart, can be connecting to. Their season might be important to you. Yes, but step up and lead. Some of you are in leadership roles, but you see it as a matter of love. Strength of heart gets the job done. That kind of thing. But no. Lead by example as well. Justice, documents, and scales. Libra energy doesn't have to be, but that sense of balance is here. That things are correct. Things are just so. Things are lining up just so. You showed yourself in some way justice or correctness in this cycle. And then also allowing it to officially be done and over. It was correct. And in 1,000 ways it was correct. The house, relocation home, congratulations. Temperance, I think some of you, however, are just showing me how your home space is sacred to you, your environment. Temperance, it's a place of peace, tranquility, etc. You do some of your best healing work in the home, or you take the home space as a very restorative, well, serious kind of space, you know? But yeah, I understand that. But congratulations. We know what I'm doing. Some of you do. And it's looking fantastic. But yeah, congratulations, though. And I love that temperance is in your home environment. That's wonderful. Peace, tranquility. We have the letters S, L, and 2 B's. Oh, interesting. Double Virgo here. We have the Book of Wisdom as well as Virgo's medallion. But some of you are very learned, very wise, knowledgeable, experienced, and then also you might have some very strong Virgo in your chart. Could be connecting to, again, their season might be important to you. But yeah, practical, wise, experienced, smart, intelligent. Good healer too. And here we have the jellyfish. Yeah. Your tentacles run deep. You're a deep feeler. And you know it. You don't deny it. Okay. Scorpio, honey. I hope this helped you. Beautiful, by the way. Good work in there. You know, it starts out as such a simple concept that click, and then the energy shifts for you just a little bit. That's all you needed. And it took you in a little different of a direction. Butterfly effect. Something at the time seemed so insubstantial, you decided one day to go left instead of right. And that was the difference. You officially recognizing that cycle, letting it go, finalizing it, allowing yourself to finalize it, allowed you to open up in a different way. It wasn't a lot, just a little bit, but it was just the right influence. Put you on the path to that. I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Pisces, what's up? Show me, Pisces. Uh-oh. Tell you what, sometimes they just try to jump out my hand. All right, what's going on? First card down, the Emperor, crossing, Ace of Wands, crowning, Judgment. Ooh, past, Page of Wands, exiting the Empress. Oh my. Before you, the Ace of Cups. I was wondering what you were going to do. Okay. Strength, Queen of Pentacles, environment, 7 of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the hopes and fears, and the outcome is the Ace of Cups. I was wondering what you were going to do, honey. And, you know, you're making it look easy, which I know it isn't. It's a couple of cards, pieces of paper, essentially, on the table. This all requires thought. This all requires healing. This all requires action. This all requires a certain willingness to look at the greater scheme of things. But there's a lot going on here. So just to let you know, we got an equal on the board. We have an Emperor and Empress that looks like they're in the exiting position. So this one straight away is either yours or it's not yours. Okay. Someone who had that same placement, same position, I want to say it was Taurus. So if you have any Taurus in your chart, perhaps check theirs out. It's very distinct when someone takes an exit like that. But given that you opened with the Emperor, default to you at this time. You're showing me a sense of empowerment. It is within your wheelhouse with the Ace of Wands crossing you to give energy to the situation, person specifically. If you chose to, you'd have to really stand into it and own that feeling of strong energy, refreshed energy. I want to give myself to this. I'd have to choose that. I'd have to own that. That is a judgment call. It crowns you. This is something that is with you in the very spiritual way. You understand that trying to open your energy towards this situation and person attached to it would be a judgment call on your part based on lessons, insight, understanding of past experiences, and where you find yourself today. You're saying, I could use some really strong energy to make a judgment call about them, to show them this energy, to bring them back in to the connection, or re-welcome them into my life. Page of Wands, in the past, you're saying you've done it before. You know what it's like to open, even in the smallest of ways, if it meant reigniting something that was important to you. And you're saying, by all rights, this person is, and now was, my equal with the Empress, so they're on their way out, exiting. So you could evoke that judgment call. You could choose them again. You could show them energy again. Keep the flame going between you two. I see you choosing not to. I am not telling you what to do. You're telling me what you're doing. Okay? I read the cards, babe. It's either yours or it's not. So this is a very strong decision, one based on knowing thyself and incorporating lessons of one's past histories, what we know about ourselves then and what we know about ourselves now, and that is also in context to this person. So to be clear, the Emperor and Empress don't easily part ways. It requires a great deal of thought and feeling and guidance. So you've told me you've opened yourself repeatedly to this situation, person in the past. You could still, you choose not to. The Eight of Cups is before you in future. It's looking like you want their exit to be a permanent exit. Okay? So the Emperor and Empress, they both share a certain status of empowerment, yes, but also that sense of giving, generosity, building into strength of will, standing by one's decisions and growing into them. So like I said, typically they're invested in finding each other. That's my equal. Someone who gives and takes at the same caliber that I do. Someone who grows into themselves at the same level of appreciation that I do. Okay? Someone who wants to be their highest self. So again, they tend to be very invested in finding each other. And these two are consciously dividing. Okay? And I see for your part, your side of that decision, the ownership of that decision. And that was based on a lot of insight and handing the energy over to judgment, universe, God, however you want to put it. And what have I learned from this? What have I learned about myself? So on and so forth. And before you, Eight of Cups, no, officially you walk. You will have your backstory. I'm not doing that today. That's another tarot reading. Okay? You're just kind of jumping me into where you are now. Your decision now. How you feel about it now. How you perceive yourself and them now. Okay? Perhaps in advice they will show me the reasons why. Maybe they won't. But I see that you've chosen in a way that's powerful, in a way that you understand is correct for you. I'm assuming then, if indeed that was your equal, even if it's a former equal, they've done something similar. Okay? I'm hoping then that that's a recognized parting of ways. Queen of Pentacles is in your strengths. That's a beautiful strength to have. You're saying you know yourself. You know your own sense of self-worth. Very good. You wouldn't do anything that was against your self-interest. Well, that's one of the things you've had to learn about yourself. So that means then choosing to open up to this again, which again was a choice. You're saying in some way represents going against your self-worth. You're going to stand fast in what you believe in and what's true for you. You also take strength and stability, resourcefulness, responsibility, all that. Knowing what home is for you, what you can do, what you can build into. These are all very strong attributes that are lended to your character. Trust that. Seven of Swords in your environment. It's not very comfortable there right now, I can imagine. Again, for someone who has Queen of Pentacles in your strengths, you would prefer to be comfortable in your environment right now. It doesn't feel so comfortable, you know. Things are changing. They're shifting. You're walking. Perhaps some of you are between environmental states, or they are. But there is a certain level of discomfort right now. This will pass. You will become reestablished in some way in your environment. So that's going to be a temporary Seven of Swords. Hopes and fears. The Queen of Cups. You hope to have a full heart again. You do. You're kind of mindful of when that might be in time. Literally in time. The Ace of Cups is in your outcome. But I understand your hopes and fears. Once more, it's not an outcome. It's just hopes and fears. Sometimes it's a very powerful reflection. Sometimes it's a very honest one, a simple one, or it's barely a concern at all. Yours is, will my heart ever be in that position of openness and readiness again to give and receive from my most loving self? Will I ever feel like me again? The softer version of me, my natural state of grace. Queen of Cups, water sign. Oh yeah, absolutely. But for now, you're having to show me empowerment. And the willingness to be uncomfortable in a shifting environment as you walk. Or they walk, or you both walk in some way. Okay? And the outcome is Ace of Cups. Like I said, it's a matter of time. A new beginning in love for you is inevitable. Okay. I don't know how far out. Perhaps they'll show me. Maybe they won't. But you hope for love to be loved again. Now you're not wrong. Okay? New love for you in time. I see it. And I hope that you do too. But you made some powerful decisions in here today. Nothing that should be rushed. Nothing that's being taken lightly. All right? There's a lot going on. Let's get some advice, please. Ooh. Nine of Cups, Four of Cups, Devil. You have been deeply unhappy for some time. A little bit of the background noise there. And for some of you, it came from a space of emotional codependency. It's like, I'm not happy, I'm never happy, and I feel like my happiness is tied up to this in all the wrong ways, which means it's not happy. I'm just reinforcing a very negative structure. Or you felt that this was coming from them. They're connected to me or loving me for all the wrong reasons, which means it's not healthy love. I strongly believe you two were bouncing this off each other for a while. The Emperor and Empress. You're going to cross over on some of those negative interactions. You both lended to it in some way. Okay. The point is that you understood you could go back down that road if you wanted to, and you chose not to. Okay, there's something about you that recognized the perpetual state of unhappiness. Excuse my stomach while it makes intensive digestive noises. I had a bagel and a coffee. It always sounds so dramatic, and it's really not. Anyway, Nine of Cups, Four of Cups, the Devil. Yeah, that's perpetual unhappiness. That's a perpetual black hole. I think someone else had a similar combination. I don't remember who. And I promise you I shuffle the hell out of these. But yeah, no, that's no good. It sucks all the happiness out of the room. It doesn't have a chance. It's a swamp of emotions that doesn't change. Okay. I mean, someone's deeply tied to their unhappiness. Three of Wands, Knight of Cups, and the Page of Swords. And you understand that romance, love, opening up to it will exist for you in time. Like I said, part of your mind is already headed in that direction. But you also understand it's not a right around the corner feature to your life. Three of Wands. Just like there's going to be some reasonable waiting involved while you grow into that thought, you grow into that feeling. Obviously, you have quite a bit going on here. So are you already kind of feeling that sense of preparedness for love down the road? Yeah. Are you in a position to live for it right now? No. You're saying there's still quite a bit of space that exists between this being walked from and you entering a new cycle in love. You get that, okay? But it's already kind of in your mind and it's in your feelings. It's there. It exists. You can kind of feel it stretch out before you on a path you've yet to take, okay? Two of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Six of Swords. Yeah. Right now, you're kind of showing me that preoccupied space of, that would explain why the Seven of Swords is in your environment. Detaching, what does that look like mechanically speaking? And this is what is vastly preoccupying you at this time. Again, once more, you could have made the decision to keep things as is, stay the same, or go back. You chose not to. And now you're very much in that space of, okay, logistically, how am I separating from this, leaving this? It's hard. It's hard to look at. It's one thing to make the decision and own it in the spirit, own it in your heart, and then bringing it into reality. Two different things. You're saying right now, the reality is uncomfortable, but you are literally figuring out how to exit. Okay? And that includes partiality, their exits as well. What does that look like? What does that mean? What are their details? Okay. So you understand then, right? These things very rarely have a quick turnaround. And if they did, it'd be quite shocking. You know. Oh, yeah. Love and time, honey. New love and time. Right now, your Emperor is occupied clearly elsewhere. Full moon in Scorpio. Breathe through the tension. Very good. Some of you might have some very strong Scorpio in your chart. Could be connecting to, or the season might be important to you. But breathe through the tension. There will be tense moments, of course. As you might expect. Okay. But, you know, what I'm really proud of you for is that you didn't take any of this for granted. You gave this serious consideration of what you've been experiencing, how you've chosen it repeatedly. Obviously, for reasons of good faith, or things will get better, or things will improve. But you're at that point, you cross that threshold where you don't want to continue finding yourself in a position of making the same choice over and over again. Like if they leave, separate, or break off, you always follow behind or catch up to them eventually, or vice versa, or something. But we're always chasing someone's unhappiness, and it's not quite the same as personal fulfillment, is it? No, not at all. Triangle. Choices and indecision. Oh, yeah. Triangle really represents that quite well. We get so used to thinking it in tarot in a one-dimensional thing. It's a triangle, uneven, three. But no, here it represents decisions, choices, and indecision. Okay? Remember, to not choose is still a choice. It's better to own a decision and know you're owning it than to be like, oh, there's nothing to decide, or I don't want to deal with it, or I don't know what to think, and just, you've done that. You've done indecision. You took it very seriously over here. Have faith in your choices. Okay? It's strong. Yeah, witch, magic, curse. You don't know if this is a blessing or a curse. The way some of you feel, the way you know what you know. Some of you feel like it was cursed with this situation, or they're cursed, or somebody here can't lift from whatever the hell that is. It could be an addiction, sure. With the Nine of Cups, yeah. Could say somebody's cursed with a particular affliction, something they're unwilling to give up. Right now I see the swamp as emotional negativity. It will not change. It's like trying to, again, feed a black hole. You just can't. If someone is determined to remain unhappy and insist that they remain unaware that they're unhappy, there's nothing you can do about that. That indeed becomes a personal choice, even if they don't see it that way. Okay? But yeah, I do feel like cursed in that sense of magic. No. No. Cursed in that sense of why did I find my equal, just to understand that it would turn out this way, or I understood that they were my equal and it turns out maybe not. Or perhaps they were once upon a time and they no longer qualify for that status. Is a curse here. Perhaps we were cursed from the very beginning. No. You don't know everything there is to know yet about this. You need time away from it. The complete and final decision and healing to better understand why you two were connected, but now may not be that time. Okay? But no. No. I think one of you sees the power of choice. And I think the other doesn't see choice at all because it's convenient not to. Okay? And that is where you two are very different. G, B, H, M. And then we have your medallion of Pisces. You could be double, triple, quad Pisces. Could be connecting two as well. And then, of course, obviously the season is important to you. All right, Pisces, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Cancer. What's up? Show me, Cancer. All right, first card down. 10 of Wands. Crossing, the Lovers, crowning you, Queen of Swords, past, 9 of Wands, exiting, 6 of Wands, before you, the 9 of Swords. Strengths, Page of Pentacles, the environment, Ace of Pentacles, the world, hopes and fears, and the outcome is the 2 of Cups. Gosh. Things are very down right now between you and a strong connection. You feel the weight of it, to be clear. 10 of Wands. Doesn't feel so good. It's very heavy. Very heavy. Lover's connection. Strongly felt. Strongly attracted. Strongly opposed. Strong connections, therefore, create strong reactions. And currently you two are in a reactive space of opposition. Pushing against. You know this. Queen of Swords is at your crown. You've been looking at this logically for a while now. What the heck do I make of this connection? Why is it so damn difficult? Why does it weigh on me? Why does it weigh on my energy to this day? Why do I find it so impactful? And even when we're in opposition towards each other, I still think about them. And you acknowledge that. You acknowledge the thought, what do I still think about them? And you feel your energy get tense and frustrated, angry. There's blockage here. It's in your history. 9 of Wands. And there's blockage here. Anger, resentment. Yeah, as you block me, I'll block you too. And so on it goes. You ignore me, I'll ignore you too. But you think about all this too. You understand this connection has made you feel very irrational. I get it. You can look at it logically, but it makes you feel irrational. Am I right? And you're like, I have no new answers when it comes to that strong connection. But there is a lot of unresolved tension between you two. Yes. Okay. That's clear. And you think about that. You still don't have any more answers for me. Not yet. 6 of Wands on the exit. There's that sense of however this used to feel good, however it is I used to have confidence in it. If I was ever in a space of being able to find a satisfied part of my ego in there, that's out. I haven't accessed that feeling in a long time. So the sense of sexual attraction and or appeal, confidence, and any kind of associated sense of triumph, you know, maybe some ego about that connection. No, that's not what this is about. Perhaps we felt that once upon a time, but not anymore. Now that we don't have access to it, no. All the kind of, you know, up in the air, happy, you know, sexy, kind of attractive energies. We haven't had access to that. So it's like, then why am I still thinking about it? Well, because this strong connection had more than one appeal to it, you know? So you take away all the fun, sexiness of it, and we're just stuck with a bunch of frustration. It's like, why? Why am I still thinking about it? Well, 9 of Swords in your immediate future. You're not done thinking about it. This one weighs on us. It weighs on our energy, emotional energy, physical energy, mental energy, spiritual energy. Whatever this is had more than just one layer to it. We take that one layer away, and it's still with us. I'm guessing there was a lot of things not addressed or said in this connection. Perhaps the intensity of the connection got in the way. And now that we remove the intensity, all we have is this kind of sickly leftover feeling of tension and anger and frustration, which tells me there was a lot of things not said or addressed the passion, the whatever got in the way. Took up all the space. Okay? It had more layers, but those layers weren't discovered or given the time and depth or space they needed to be discovered. I don't know, because you're showing me frustration and I'm trying to look at it, but I have no new information. And then we go back to square one. Okay? Page of Pentacles is in your strengths. If you wanted to make some sort of investment, you could, no matter how small, whatever that means to you. If you wanted to invest in something, no matter how small, to find out, answer some questions, you could. I'm not pointing fingers at you. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying it's there. It's a suggestion. That's it. Ace of Pentacles is in your environment. Congratulations are in order. That's wonderful. You're not the first person to show me that. That's great. I love it when people are out there achieving goals. So that's coming up as a solid structure goal in your environment. So we're talking literally, for some of you, FYI, new job, new career, new home, new investment property. I don't know. But it's solid as heck, and it's good. It's very solid. This is where you have no confusion. There is a sense of new beginning, at least in your environment. So again, any of those structures, but indeed it's a structure and it's solid. You can see it, you can interact with it. It's yours. So congratulations. That looks kind of fresh. That looks kind of new. Okay. This is something we've been working through, whereas this one has a lot more shape and structure to it, and again, very much speaks to new. Okay, but again, congratulations to you. That's always exciting. The world is in the hopes and fears. Yeah, I see something like this where there's a lot of unresolved parts, unexplored parts as well. We didn't even begin to reach the depths. I don't even know if you got to a midway point with your lovers. There's so much here, and anger and resentment of what it is we didn't know or can't express or feel we couldn't. So what happens when we take away the flattery and the ego and the attraction? Why is this thing still with me? I know a lot of it's unresolved. Uncommunicated, actions left undone, stuff like this. And your hopes and fears, if I'm talking to a real Cancer, okay, if I'm talking to that honest Cancer, let me know if you're that person. You see the world in your hopes and fears category. You see your opening on the cross. Are you being honest with me? If you're being honest with me, you're saying, I hope it's not over. I'm afraid it is. Maybe one day we can reopen that. You know what? No, I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Nope, 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 no. Are you that Cancer? Because the Cancer I'm looking at, to say a lot of stuff was hanging in this connection, not addressed, unresolved, and barely explored, is an understatement. The world then in your hopes and fears makes perfect sense to me, so I hope you don't see it as an offense. It's either your reading or it's not. You can be that person like, no, it's done, it's done, it's done. Okay, it's not your reading, babe. Check out your other placements. For those of you, you're like, yeah, okay, all right, fine, you got me. You got me. Maybe there's still room to open that door and look at it again. Maybe one time, maybe one day, I don't know. It might be stupid, I don't know. It's not as stupid. It's just a lot here unexplored. I only have so many ways to say it. Okay? There's a lot of things that burn in you, and you say, no, they don't. There's a lot of things that sear in your mind, and you're just like, no, they don't. Oh, just my eyes keep going back to a little Page of Pentacles. Two of Cups in the outcome. Some sort of emotional presence for you in the future. One of a balanced nature. I don't know what it is. Why are you looking at me? I don't know. All right, let's get some advice. Honestly, no, something for you shows up in terms of real support. An equal measure of the heart. Right there in the 11th hour. Let's get some advice, please. Seven of Swords, the Star, Queen of Wands. Not very subtle, Spirit. Not very subtle at all. I don't think they'll appreciate that. Kind of avoiding what we want the most. Even if it's just in that space of I want to know something. Yeah, you know, the Star, Queen of Wands, is quite an attractive desire. Very. It rises high into the sky. Seven of Swords says, I don't acknowledge that. So this is mental deviation. That sounds super fancy. It's just avoidance, doubt. We all have that. Again, not an offense, don't take it as one. We all have a Five of Swords, Seven of Swords, and you can say it's them, it's them, it's them. Okay. Perhaps just a little bit of both of you then. Took two, right? You know? With the Lovers, it usually takes two. Somebody rejects the connection in some way, the other person upholds it in their own way. It has to be chosen many times over in order for it to succeed many times over. Okay. Once more, not giving you a hard time, honey. I'm just reading what's here. But yeah, I am seeing somebody actively avoid what they desire the most. Okay. The attraction's easy. I can see that. I've already dismissed it. I mean, like I said, all this conflict is what's remaining after that energy's gone. Okay. So it was more than just attraction. But we do find beauty in this. We do find grace in this. We do find a passion and a depth there. And quality. The Empress. A lot of quality. Loving and generous nature. Eight of Wands. Somebody gets to that point where they can't hold back. Open up. Someone just needs to open up. Drop the dime. Okay. I'm not going to pursue it further. Everything's been here from the beginning. I'm happy for your Ace of Pentacles. I really am. I don't want to take away from that. I love it when people show me achievements and working at home. I get it. I live in reality too. But that world, honey, and the hopes and fears, that was a day giveaway. Come on now. Come on now. What do you think all that stress? That was individual stress, anxiety, rejection, blockage, bullshit. And it's like, how can I still be thinking about it? Logically, even you want to know. Even you're like, why? Why? Do you see how much was not brought up, resolved, etc.? How much not expressed? I never got to say my side or whatever. I don't know. You would know best. Only a strong connection can make you that crazy, I'll tell you that. Last quarter moon in Capricorn, leave the past behind. Absolutely, that's always an option. First quarter moon into Gemini, or you can speak your world into being. What is it that you want? Now leave the past behind. If we choose to communicate with this, the past may not be brought up at all. Who knows? Perhaps you jump into the present. I haven't a clue. Some of you, choice, always. Tarot's the proof of choice, not the absence of it. If you give yourself true permission and peace to walk away from this, you can. I saw clearly someone choosing to communicate from a higher space within themselves with empowerment and generosity and love. Others of you, you'll walk completely. Others of you will speak your world into being. Okay? But yeah, tarot will always be the proof of choice. I can't tell you what to do. I can look at things. I can ask for advice. You know? If I'm lucky, I see little points of reference for the future. Touch of the unknown, maybe. The unexpected, the surprises. But mostly, I just point out the obvious. You know? I'm like Google Maps. All right, Moose. Acceptance, eccentric. A sense of acceptance here. Someone here a little bit eccentric. I had that vibe. It's a lover's connection itself. It could be described as eccentric, but there was something here in somebody's energy that's highly desirous, and it requires a little bit of being oneself and unapologetically putting oneself out there into the world. Yeah, someone might be touched with what you might call creativity. I know it's a passion, honey. I think what happens when the influence isn't there, though. See what I'm saying? There's still a common denominator of energy that retains. Cat, jealous. What is this? What is it? What's with the jealousy? Gossip. We don't like what we're hearing. The sense. Where's that jealousy coming from? I don't like that. It's just in that sense of mental thinking where we're living in our head too much and it creates a negativity. Gossip, talking. We hate being excluded. We hate not knowing. Jealous, gossip, listening to other people instead of talking directly, relying on secondhand news. Okay. Odd. Okay. That hit funny. That hit really funny. All right. Not in a ha-ha funny, just in that sense of small observation, jealousy, small eyes, Page of Swords. Okay. Anyway, we have letters M, N, A, Y, F. And then we have the medallion of Pisces. Some of you might be connecting to Pisces. You might have some very strong Pisces in your chart. Could be, like I said, connecting to. And then the season might be important to you. And then we have the crescent moon in reverse. There might be some interesting energies around the next new moon. Or the absence of light in the night sky, something like that. But just remember, this too shall pass. The moon teaches us that things happen in stages and in phases. All right, Cancer honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.